ECW One Night Stand, a one-time reunion of the lewdest, the rudest, the crudest, the most insane, the most severe, the most extreme form of sports entertainment legal in the United States today. The original stars of Extreme Championship Wrestling are back for ECW's One Night Stand. Live Sunday, June 12th, only on pay-per-view. Extreme Championship.
Hey, how are ya? Hey, how are ya?
Hey, how are ya? Hey, how are ya?
Hi, how are ya? Hi, how are ya?
Hello, isn't this weird? I'm from Holland.
Oh, John Francis.
That's right. I love gold. All right. Welcome to Three-Way Theater.
Hey guys, I'm Mike Pava.
I'm Lumberjake.
I'm JC.
You know, we're best friends. You might call us 3 Ps in a pod.
Cast.
Yeah, because we review pro wrestling.
Movies.
In pro wrestling movies.
Yeah!
Woo, we did it.
And not only that, we also have a 4th P in this podcast.
That's right, because this is Best in Show.
Best in show. Best in show. Best in show.
We're doing a robot right
Yep,
now.
mhm.
Yep. And our guest will be the callback to our very first guest we ever had on this show.
We're calling him back?
We're calling him back.
Oh, man.
Actually, different guy. That was all good, Anthony
Oh,
Green.
all right.
We're bringing back the retrosexual Anthony Green.
Though I have been on the podcast as Retrosexual Anthony Green.
That's true, but we're not going to think about that. Beach Blast 93 or 2?
It was 93.
Okay.
Yeah, the rematch, but it was, instead of Ricky Steamboat, it was Dustin Rhodes
Oh,
and
the
Rick
Iron Man
Rude.
match.
Yes.
Ricky Rude.
Ha. But yeah, we have Anthony Green with us
Welcome back to the show.
on his
Anthony.
Retribution tour.
Yes. Big matches coming up. Stevie Richards.
Big Stevie Cool.
Wow, really?
That's really cool, considering what we're talking about today.
That's right.
Oh, wait, what's that? I guess that's a segue. Am I 9 points away, guys?
Yep. 9 points away from getting his free segue.
Hell yeah!
But that makes sense because today we will be discussing ECW One Night Stand 2007.
ECW.
No, it's 2005.
I
Oh,
watched the
no.
wrong. Like Bobby Lashley.
So you watched, without a doubt, the worst one-night stand.
I agree to disagree. Yeah, I like 2007 better because it wasn't in the Hammerstein ballroom. It was just like in a normal arena. Like
Oh, you like that?
yeah. I much prefer that. My match of the night tonight was Randy Orton versus RVD in the stretcher
The
match.
stretcher match was really
Opening-
great, yeah.
I'd say that's the best opening match of any pay-per-view of all time.
So you're already giving us your match of the night, huh?
I sure am.
Oh, man. Oh, no, we're doing... So the first Best in Show was Barely Legal 1997.
Very first ECW pay-per-view.
Right, with Anthony, and now you are back here again for the reunion show.
For the first WWECW pay-per-view.
Yes.
Man, I was so psyched when they announced that this pay-per-view was happening.
This was a huge deal.
Yes. Well, and to take it back a step, how did this come about? Because there was the Rise and Fall of ECW DVD, which is one of the highest selling DVDs.
The highest selling DVD.
Was it the highest?
The highest selling
I think there was
DVD.
one other. I think it was like a WrestleMania or something.
It's like WrestleMania 17
No.
and this.
This was the most money-making DVD they've ever had.
I actually got this. I got the Rise and Fall of ECW.
Same.
Oh, absolutely.
I thought that it was like 6 hours long.
It was amazing.
$30. Remember spending $30 for a DVD?
That fucking
Do
FYE.
I spent $30 on a VHS tape. Are you kidding me?
I spent $30 on that. I spent $20 on ECW's most bloody matches. Like I spent fucking $30 on the best of PWG when they were selling that at FYE.
Yeah, that was like a 5-disc set.
Sure was.
Well, I guess the real person to thank is RVD, who came up to
Right.
Vince McMahon and gave him this idea.
Yes.
Yeah, he seemed to be like the guy that was really spearheading this whole movement. And wouldn't irony have it where RVD didn't get to fucking take place? He didn't get to wrestle on the show.
In 2005, I was 12 years old.
Fuck you.
I was 15. Yeah.
If my memory serves me right, this pay-per-view was like originally announced at like a house show. Like the idea of the event was announced. I'm pretty sure Taz announced it.
Was it like a house show in Philly or something?
Either like Philly or it may have been like a Madison Square Garden house show, something like that. And I remember
it was
just
probably
on the
the
website.
New York market. It
Yeah.
probably was definitely. I remember when it finally got announced like online and like TV. It just blew my mind. Like they're doing an ECW one night stand, and there was such secrecy surrounding the event because you didn't know what was happening on the card.
Yeah.
You just knew that there were ECW superstars that were going to be there, and then once they started hyping it for real, I know Lumberjack, you sent us over the Extreme Heat, which showed a few video packages in the lead up to ECW One Night Stand.
I would assume. I think it was a few clips from the Rise and Fall of ECW to get you acclimated to what ECW was all about. And
Whoops.
Oh, wow.
JC just brought up a great picture.
Yeah, that was me at the Fall River Armory for an ECW show back in '97. It's me and the Queen of Extreme, Francine.
Wow, we'll have to post that up on TWT.com.
Absolutely. So the One Night Stand pay-per-view, I kind of lost my train of thought after I saw JC and Francine.
You were going to say that the video packages showing the rise
Yes.
and fall of ECW.
And then they had various storylines that were leading up to this, like what led to Paul Heyman bringing back ECW and Vince McMahon saying that he was in support of ECW, saying like, I think ECW should come back, and Eric Bischoff was against it, and Raw was against it. And then they had, during this heat, they had Jonathan Coachman and Michael Cole sitting out in the lobby of the
Biggest mistake you could
Yeah.
ever.
sitting in the lobby of
Bad
the,
idea.
of the Hammerstein Ballroom with the ECW fans from the jump. Chanting like fucking shit and
You suck dick. What was this still on US? Was this on
This was on US
was
Spike
Spike,
TV.
yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
so it flew.
So I think that kind of brings me to my question about Vince and doing this entire event. One, he truly underestimated the what ECW was, because he felt and he said that he believed, I think it was Tommy Dreamer that said it, that people chanted ECW at WWE shows because Vince trained them to do that.
I don't know about that.
I got when we do a special hardcore spot, pal, they're saying ECW. And it's like, no, it's because of this counterculture, this world that ECW was, and people remember these things. And which is why I remember in the build up to this pay-per-view, I was a little scared because when you had this, it turned into Bischoff, trying to ECW's dead, and then you had Vince McMahon saying, "No, I funded ECW, and I approve of ECW."
Was that the big promo with Paulie, Vince,
The
and
effigy?
Bischoff?
They had the big wreath in there made of
Like,
barbed
yeah, the
wire,
funeral for ECW.
and then Paul Heyman lit it on fire.
Right?
Man, Fry was so upset at the funeral for ECW.
Oh, Fry the ECW.
He was
frying pan
there,
mascot?
He sure was.
Yeah.
R.I.P.
But I had a real concern heading into the pay per view because one, no announced matches.
The concern that it wasn't going to be as
it was
ECW.
Like it was going to be too controlled by the WWE.
Yes. And, there was no announced matches. We didn't know who the stars that were going to be there. You had Vince McMahon coming out there putting over ECW.
Right.
Which is like, you'd think it was the opposite of what they should be doing.
Yes. I would, and so like heading into this pay per view, there you saw the picture of me earlier in my ECW shirt, my Hawaiian shirt, and ready to go hang out and watch this show. I was so happy, but I was so scared because I didn't know what it was going to be.
There was
think-
sorry.
Go ahead.
There was like a special the week before the pay-per-view on like a Tuesday.
Was that the WWE versus ECW special?
sure
which
was.
I think that
No,
showed,
was that or was
No,
that?
that was 2006.
Yeah, that's when they were remaking the brand because the winner of the Big Battle Royal was the Big Show who
Yeah.
went to ECW.
That was 2006. So that
that
wasn't
was-
even that 2005.
That was for the
show.
rebranding of the
The new WWE
Yeah.
ECW.
I guess I watched the wrong one too, guys. I
Oh,
gotta
no.
go. I gotta go.
He's like, dude, when Eugene came out in the Sandman Kingdom, shit went crazy.
They showed it on Extreme Heat because they had the whole effigy with the three big, Bischoff, Heyman, and McMahon, and then on SmackDown, they actually had on Raw and SmackDown they had the ECW guys show up.
Yes.
So you finally had an idea.
that was the first because they were coming out to jump Heyman during that promo.
Yes.
And then Heyman says, don't you realize we never come alone? Out through the crowd comes Balls Mahoney, Axel Rotten, Tommy Dreamer, Sandman, which people lost their shit
and
for.
so the thing with that was that Heyman came out with the Dudley Boys.
Right.
Yes.
And Dudleys have been off TV for a while at that point.
Since like the Royal Rumble, I think we were saying. Like,
I think
or
they
right
were.
before.
I think they were in like OVW at that point.
Just-
and like that was like their last.
They were released
yeah.
right after this
Yeah.
pay-per-view. But so they were out there and that was cool. But then when you had Balls, Axel, Rhyno, who had been fired, you had these guys coming out and it's like, oh shit, okay. All right, so there's going to be a few ECW guys on the
having
show.
Rhyno, Tommy, and the Dudleys is whatever. Having Balls, Axel, and Sandman, it's like, oh shit. It's like, okay.
Well, I also think with the Shane Douglas doing the hardcore reunion
Do
show.
we have info on that?
Hardcore
Did somebody get
Homecoming.
that?
Hardcore Homecoming show.
yes,
That,
June 10th, 2005, 2
I-
days before.
I think people were thinking like, oh, that's going to be the real ECW show. This is going to be a watered down version. I think people thought that as well and were scared, and that was good reason to, because here you have the Hardcore Homecoming, which was at the ECW arena.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
So you're like, all right, well, that seems really cool. And then how's this going to be? How they going to be able to pull it off? Are they going to be able to?
Would you like to hear what the card was for
I
Hardcore
sure
Homecoming?
would.
Do you guys remember when we were at the ECW arena?
I remember that.
All of us.
I
together.
don't. I got knocked out.
You sure did.
Yeah, you did.
Rich Swann was putting you over hard, and you do not remember any of it.
Yeah.
I'm so sad now.
Rich Swann was putting you over so strong,
Rich Swann-
and you were like putting him on the pay no mind list because you were just out of it. And just,
Rich Swann watched your match and goes, "Man, I wish I got to work you tonight." And you were like on your phone, concussed the fuck.
Oh my god.
dude, it was so funny.
And I'm like, "Oh man."
Big League AG.
The only thing I remember is one of the guys I had come to do my entrance walked up to him and said, Richard Swann? WWE Cruiserweight Champion? It's a pleasure to meet you. And like, thank God Rich Swann's like the nicest, coolest
Yeah.
guy. If it was like any like dick in pro wrestling, that would have been really uncomfortable for him.
Oh my god.
So June 10th at the ECW arena, they introduced Todd Gordon and Hat Guy to the crowd.
Yeah,
did a little
Hat Guy.
special introduction.
Oh,
ECW. ECW.
The commentary team was Joey Styles, Joel Gertner, and Cyrus the Virus.
Awesome.
all three, huh?
The opening match was Mikey Whipwreck and Chris Chetty defeating Simon Diamond and C.W. Anderson, a.k.a. the front row of this show. Tracy Smothers with J.T. Smith defeated the Blue Meanie. Too Cold Scorpio defeated Kid Cash.
Hell of a match, by the way.
The Gangstanators, New Jack and Coronis, wrestled the Bad Breed to a no contest.
A Coronas with limes.
The Gangstanators.
Mustafa was supposed to show up, but he couldn't make it. Oh, no, it was supposed to be the Eliminators versus the Bad Breed, but Perry Saturn was injured. Excuse me.
That would have been awesome.
Jerry fucking Lynn!
Oh,
that a
from Fighting
random-
with my
Yeah,
family.
Start Fighting with My Family. Defeated Just Incredible with Jason. Raven with the Blue Meanie and the Musketeer. Defeated the Sandman. And then in the main event, Sabu with Bill Alfonso defeated Shane Douglas with Francine and Terry Funk with Tammy Lynn Sitch in a barbed wire three-way dance with Mick Foley as the special guest referee. Cool.
Wow.
He made a special appearance for this this ECW show. Nobody expected that.
Also, that barbed wire was like announced that night. Like,
Really?
Yeah, it was not announced beforehand.
Now
Just the
there
main
are-
event was.
There are a few guys on that show who also worked the one night stand
Yes.
pay-per-view, so these guys were allowed to do both if they wanted to.
There was a big concern at the time where there was talk of like, oh, well, if they do Hardcore Homecoming, WWE's not going to let them do One Night Stand. And I think they took like some basic, like, they're like, no, listen.
We
you
need
wanna do
Sabu.
both. Like, if you want
Yeah.
to do both, you can do both. There's no heat in the office if you do it.
But if you're on that show, we're going to use that as the excuse on why you're not on this show.
Right, yeah, absolutely.
And imagine the paydays all those guys got for
Yeah.
doing both that weekend. Jeez, Friday and Sunday.
And
Yeah, they're still waiting to get paid from Hardcore Homecoming.
can you believe Terry Funk only did Hardcore Homecoming and not One Night Stand?
He did like
I-
a whole promo on that.
Yeah, and I watched a YouTube video. After you sent me all those links, the autoplay started up, and there was like top 10 things you didn't know about One Night Stand.
Ooh.
And one of them was Terry Funk believing that Vince McMahon was just using the name of ECW to get a payday, and didn't think it was going to be anything.
Okay, welcome to the wrestling business, Terry Funk.
Yeah, but
oh,
then-
you did it for a payday. I don't
Yeah,
believe it.
But then 1 year later, guess who's at ECW One Night Stand 2006?
Yeah, fucking rubber knee Terry Funk.
Well,
fucking
he had to see how the first one worked out. You know, if it, if it went over like a flop, he wasn't gonna be a part.
Sorry, Vince.
I'd rather
My
be-
horse died.
I'd rather be on the one with no licensed music.
I think the second one was way more ECW with their big match between Randy Orton and Kurt Angle.
Yeah, definitely, right?
Oh, but Kurt Angle, he was the wrestling machine of ECW.
Yeah, do you remember when he was doing headbutts? When he just, shoot headbutt. Oh, also at Hardcore Homing, they did a tribute to fallen heroes where they brought out Johnny Grunge, Pitbull #1, and Tammy Lynn Sitch to deliver a eulogy for Rocco Rock, Pitbull #2, and Chris Candido.
Oh.
Chris Candido, who had died literally weeks before this paper.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
considering the reaction, the Candido chants in the Hammerstein Ballroom, like, he was on a lot of people's mind at this show.
Well, fucking, I can't fault anyone. Chris Candido died April 28th, 2005.
Wow.
So that was like less than 2 months or 3 months.
That's
Like,
crazy.
Jesus Christ.
Here's what else was happening in wrestling at this time.
Ooh.
On June 19th, Raven won the TNA heavyweight title. What? Yeah.
We need to lock down Raven so he doesn't go to one night stand.
Yeah.
Put the belt on him.
He was a big surprise in the King of the Mountain match, replacing Jeff Jarrett, who was on his outs with the company.
Yeah, and then Jeff Jarrett won it back like 2 days later.
Yeah, he was back.
A few months later, at an indie show, he won the
In
belt.
Canada.
Yeah.
Charlie Haas and Jackie got married.
Aw, Jackie Gaeta or Jackie,
Jackie Gaeta.
Miss Jackie.
I mean,
Miss
she,
Texas?
she was also
Yeah.
Miss Jackie before.
That's true.
So, they are actually still married today and have 4 kids. Isn't that nice?
Nice. Remember when he knocked Lillian Garcia off the apron?
She was like,
She broke her wrist.
And didn't Jackie Gaeta have the worst match in Raw history?
Yeah, Jackie Gaeta and Christopher Nowinski versus Bradshaw and Trish Stratus.
Oh, my God. Was Trish Stratus dressed up like Annie Hall?
No, not this time.
and Shark Boy filed a lawsuit against
Shark Boy and Lava Girl.
against Dimension Films over the Miramax film, The Adventures of Shark Boy and Lava Girl 3D.
And he won, by the way.
His claim is that he trademarked the Shark Boy name, which he did, and that the Shark Boy movie is not portrayed as a tough guy, which would hurt his image.
Oh, shell, yeah.
So
Point of contention. Shark Boy was never... When he was teaming with D-Ray 3000 in 2005, I don't think...
When he was teaming with New Jack playing Candyland on TNA pay-per-view.
And playing with Hulk fists. And riding the Jaws ride.
But hey, that's serious business, brother.
They had a fucking vignette of him and New Jack riding the Jaws ride at Universal Studios, and New Jack was afraid of the Jaws, and Shark Boy was cheering like, "Yeah!"
That's
it was
amazing.
because it was Jaws.
if you
That's
can
TNA?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
if you can find the pay-per-view, I think it was a Destination X. It was all X Division guys. He was teaming with Curry Boy and someone else, and they were
Curry
doing,
Man.
Yes, sorry, Curry Man. They're doing a promo. Not NCW famous wrestler
Right,
Curry Boy.
Right.
Curry Man. The promo went so bad, he walks by the camera, and you hear him in his real voice go, "That was the fucking shit."
Did you guys ever watch Hardcore Homecoming?
I've actually watched all 3 Hardcore
Really?
Homecomings.
Wow, you're a glutton.
I didn't watch. I've also been called a glutton.
No, it's gluten.
I am just a big gluten at this point. I'm a big carbohydrate. I didn't watch Hardcore Homecoming, but I did watch Forever Hardcore.
The
their
documentary. I have not seen the
Same, I
Hardcore
haven't
Home.
seen
Now,
either.
Jeremy Borash spearheaded Hardcore Homecoming and Forever Hardcore, the TNA. Like,
How was
I
the?
thought it was Shane Douglas more. So
I
I think
believe it
Shane
was-
Douglas was the face of it, but I'm pretty sure because even Meanie just said on the shoot interview that it was Borash's deal.
okay.
Now the Forever Hardcore documentary, did you feel that was on par with the Rise and Fall?
I didn't think it was as good, but I feel like they got some more talking heads in there. They covered different segments, so like there was
Yeah.
parts of it. I'd rather watch it.
It was
in
like watching the
segments.
Firefest documentaries on Hulu and Netflix. They
Okay.
bring a little bit different stuff to the table, you know.
Yeah, but I would say Forever Hardcore is probably better. They had the ability. They just had everything. They had the footage. They had like,
It was kind of sad, actually. they literally on the Forever Hardcore have the last footage of Chris Candido ever on camera, like in the neck, the fake neck brace with the actual cast on his leg, and he's just like totally ribbing.
That was that was
Do you
so
remember that at
fucked
the
up
end?
because
Yeah.
he broke his leg at the pay-per-view, but they had already done pre-tapes.
And he helped the Naturals win the
Win the
tag belts.
titles.
And I remember watching. I was a kid,
my
so I didn't
God.
really understand it.
They did it in memoriam at the beginning.
And then you see in the next segment, I'm like, what the?
I was
Because he
so-
broke his ankle? That's bullshit.
Yeah.
I was so mad.
Me too.
And then looked online because,
He had died.
Yep. Very,
Is it because he
very
went on an
weird.
airplane? Is that
Yeah,
why
he
happened?
broke
Like a
his
blood
leg.
clot?
Got a
He broke
blood
his
clot
leg,
in,
went
like-
on an airplane.
Broke his leg or ankle in like 7 places.
Yeah.
And he was told by the doctor he could fly home to Jersey and got a blood clot in his leg. And
Holy
like,
shit.
Yeah, it
And
was,
that's a guy that was like on crazy drugs, cleaned up. Like,
Yeah.
Isn't
that always how it fucking goes?
He
though?
would have been in the WWE doing.
Imagine him as an agent right now.
He'd be in the Performance Center right now, or he'd be running 205 Live.
He'd be fucking Dean Malenko. He'd be fucking he'd be any of these guys that are just there, that are just putting shit together. That's one of the biggest tragedies in my mind.
100%.
Chris Candido was such a fucking talent. He was funny. He had a mind for the. He was his grandfather was a wrestler. Popeye fucking something. Chuck Popeye Richards.
Blow me down.
But let's just dive right into this show.
Because Best in Show, as we didn't allude to at the beginning of the podcast, if you never, listened to us before.
Then you probably turned it off by now.
Right, exactly. We're going to go through match by match, and you're going to figure out what the best match of the show is, the best in show.
And the worst in show.
Especially the worst in show.
And our spots of each individual match.
Right,
Yeah.
and our votes are already in.
Yeah,
Votes are
unfortunately.
cast.
So you
Can I have my slip back?
you can't
I-
change your vote.
Okay,
once.
let's talk
Hold on,
about it
Jason.
first, and then give
No,
me my slip.
I don't know whose this is, but you
I'm
can
just gonna
change
write
it.
my
Yeah.
new one in. Over it.
You're locked in, brother.
All right, let's get into this.
So we're
Strap
live,
in.
we're live from the Hammerstein Ballroom, June 12th, 2005.
Oh my God!
In front of 2,500 screaming fans.
Rabid fans.
Rabid, which made me feel good too, because again, when you had that unknown, when you saw the ECW, and I didn't watch Extreme Heat. This was the first time I watched it when you showed it to me.
Yeah.
So just to see all the fans, and they're actually the ECW fans, that was awesome.
According to OSW Review, the average ticket price for a one-night stand was $192.
Jeez.
Mikey, I'm surprised you weren't there.
I wish.
Right, that's surprising me too.
I wish.
I feel like that's something you and Uncle Derek would have absolutely
Yeah.
just we got to do this.
Now, who was there was indie superstar Eddie Kingston, who I spotted within the first 20 seconds of this show. They're panning across the crowd, and I spot Eddie Kingston. Now, AG, you were watching 2006 also.
Yeah.
Now, did you spot somebody in the crowd?
A young Kevin Steen wearing a PWG
Yeah,
shirt.
a.k.a. Kevin Owens, standing in the crowd, 2006 one-night stand. He's like, I came for Randy Orton and Angle.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's so funny seeing these, just spotting those indie guys, just like Eddie Kingston, he's got I know you guys don't know who he is, but he's got a distinct look, and you can just tell. And then same thing with Kevin Owens, he's got his little backwards baseball cap.
Yeah.
I think it goes to show that, we're all fans. There's nothing wrong with being a fan of pro wrestling because we all started there. So to see Steen or Eddie Kingston in the crowd, this is what we are. There was a picture that somebody just put up recently of Johnny Gargano outside of MSG, and little fat kid.
Yeah.
And he grew up to be, one of the best wrestlers around. It's
A little jacked kid.
yeah, exactly. It was awesome.
Steven DeAngelis introduces Joey Styles. Joey
Yes.
Styles gets a fucking entrance. And
Oh, my God.
is, it's a hero's welcome.
They're
They're holy shit.
he
As far as-
immediately breaks.
That's something that really made ECW, the one-night stand, having Joey Styles there, I feel was a huge plus.
And opening the show.
Yes.
Every ECW pay-per-view.
I would make the hot take
Okay.
that I would put Joey solo on this show.
I was just going to say
yes.
that. I feel like they felt like they had to put Mick in there.
They
and I
didn't
feel like-
have to.
I
No.
feel like that's what they thought. They didn't think Joey Styles could do it by himself. But
Never been done before, never been done since.
Yeah, no.
I wish
there-
he was solo.
Or, if you had to, couldn't you have tried to get Cyrus or Gertner to do it? But,
Foley
yeah, but they
wasn't
need
bad.
The,
I just
no, Foley was not good.
he wasn't. It wasn't bad. I just didn't.
Oh,
I wish it was. I wish it was just Joey
Psicosis coming out without his mask on. He's never done that before.
In the
Oh,
US.
actually, Mick.
Actually, Mick, he did in WCW for years and
He's
years
never done
and
that
years.
in North America. So we've done that in Mexico, but Mexico is a part of North America.
But they were both trained by Rey Mysterio's father, Rey Mysterio Sr. Actually, that's his uncle, Mick.
Yeah, bang bang,
Bing, bing.
Can I call this one, guys? Inzugari. I'm like, that's not it either.
Oh, Mick. Oh, Mick.
Oh. Yeah, unfortunately, Mick was probably the worst part of the pay-per-view.
He tried.
Stephen D'Angelo's also ring announced for Hardcore Homecoming.
Oh, cool.
Yes, so they brought him back too.
Double the payday, baby.
I'll tell you who they did bring back, Atlas Security.
Yes, that was so weird to me too.
Was it?
Wait,
First of all, they brought Atlas Security back all the time whenever there was ECW shows. Atlas Security sucks. Atlas Security
Whoa.
doesn't do anything.
Listen,
Holy
it
shit.
doesn't
How
matter.
many times was Atlas Security sitting there whenever some shit was going down and waited until it happened to run over there?
Remember it was there.
Fuck
Remember we were
Atlas
watching it and
Security.
somebody was like rubbing their faces and somebody's like in like a wrestler's like covering a wrestler's eyes or something, and they
And
were.
the Atlas Security guy's just standing there with his thumb up his ass.
But the reason Atlas Security was at 1-8 stand, they weren't really doing security. They were just standing.
no,
there.
I know they weren't. They
They never did.
I did not expect Mikey's hatred for Atlas.
I knew it was coming.
Atlas
I knew it was
Security.
coming.
Two things. Is it just me, or does one of the Atlas security guys just look exactly like Don West?
Yes, the mullet guy with the mustache. He was the Atlas Security guy in my mind.
They take up way too much space.
And then, fun
Get out of the
fact:
camera.
do you know who now has Atlas security as his personal security everywhere he goes? Like
Tony
talk
Atlas.
shows?
We would have seen them last night.
That's true.
Cody Rhodes.
Really?
Yep, just at any show, he always has Atlas security.
So he
with
doesn't
him.
value his own safety.
Jesus.
He's like, hey, those fans are trying to fuck on me.
As much as it was like, oh, okay, that even makes it more ECW, the fact that they're there.
Yeah.
I fucking hate them.
Oh man.
Get the fuck out of here.
They can get fucking. They can get Atlas Security. They can't get Derry Funk. But anyway, our opening contest for this show, we have Lance Storm with Dawn Marie, bitch.
A pregnant Dawn Marie.
Yeah, right.
Mikey, how hard did you come?
She hit it well. little too well, in my opinion.
So you didn't come well then.
No.
Lance Storm with Dawn Marie taking on Lionheart Chris Jericho.
That was awesome.
Lionheart, Chris Jericho.
That was
That was
pretty
one of my
awesome.
notes. Yeah.
One of my. I didn't enjoy them using Chris Jericho's theme.
No, but that's just
But I
a
guess like,
problem.
what else are they going to use?
That was a big thing on this show, which, I mean, I guess that there has to be some kind of concessions.
Any WWE that rubbed off on this got so much fucking heat.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
We'll get to the.
Even the slightest little thing.
But that's why Jericho's so smart, right? Because like he knows you're going into ECW 2005 as the Y2J that's been around forever. You come out as the fucking Lionheart, you know how to work.
Even
that
his tights
EC
were like a throwback.
They were the
Yeah.
original tights. It was so fucking cool.
They also made a big deal that, of course, Lance Storm and Chris Jericho tag team, and this also being they also had their first match together.
Yep.
So
The Thrill Seekers explode.
Was this actually Lance Storm's
in
last
WWE,
match?
yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I believe he had a couple more matches for Ring of Honor, and I believe there was like maybe Blood, Sweat, and Ears or something. He made some other random appearance, but like
Okay.
yeah, he worked. I think he worked Daniel Bryan in Ring of Honor. I think that was pretty solid.
Mike Bennett as well.
Mike Bennett,
Yep.
okay. So the Thrill Seekers, they were both trained in the Heart Dungeon. So like they've been together forever. They were in Smoky Mountain Wrestling. They actually Smoky Mountain was where the Thrill Seekers like only worked though, which is weird. They worked in Japan at Sudden Impact, and then they worked as the Thrill Seekers.
Yep.
And then they never really teamed too much after that. However, they did tag team again, where they lost a match to the Dudley Boys on an episode of Monday Night Raw, and they weren't trying to make anything special of it. And they also lost a match till it was like Kidman and someone. It was the most weirdest thing. I'm like, you would think that they would have. They would have a little rub for the Thrill Seekers getting back together, but it really meant nothing to them.
Yeah.
Another guy I wasn't happy to see, but
Oh boy.
but he really once again made me think, man, they're really trying hard to make this as ECW as much as possible. And that was Mike fucking Keener.
Oh yeah, you do hate Mike
God
Keener.
damn it! I was like, son of a bitch. We got Jericho and Lance Storm coming out and fuck Mike
As
Keener.
long as I've known Mikey, he's hated Atlas Security and Mike Keener.
Mikey rarely gets fired up on this podcast. He's always usually the most reserved out of the three of us. And just to see you riled up
It
over.
was very emotional.
We got one of those nice little like
respect spots in the beginning.
And the fans gave it a standing ovation.
That's another classic ECW spot.
Oh yeah, White Zombie guy was in the front fucking row. Like, they just showed Green Lantern
Vlad the
fan.
Superfan was in the
Vlad
show.
the Superfan was in the fucking front row.
I mean, having all Faith No More guy.
Yeah. That's what I meant. White Zombie guy, Faith No More
Oh,
guy,
okay,
whatever you want to
alright,
call
okay.
him.
Did you?
I called him Diesel Guy when I was a kid because I only saw him at the WWF events before I started watching ECW.
Yeah.
And I'm like, Diesel Guy.
Yeah.
And I took a picture with him at the King of the Ring '97.
These are all really?
Yep.
That's pretty cool.
He was hanging out outside the Providence Civic Center, and I'm like, "Hey, Diesel Guy, can I get a photo with you?" He goes, "Yeah, man, let's do it."
He's like, actually, it's Faith No More guy, but whatever.
I was in my Cactus Jack shirt. I was like, "Bing, bing."
And then you were like, hey, ZTB, can I get a picture? Zachary Ty Bryant?
Yup. The Slammer.
He was in the crowd.
Do you think, as crazy as the fans were and how excited everybody was, do you think this is like a lot of pent-up frustration, a lot of pent-up energy, because there was really never that...
You didn't get the goodbye.
There was no...
Their last show was like in Ohio.
Yeah, there was
like,
no
because we
closure,
So
right?
we did the first Barely Legal with you,
Yeah.
and then last year we did ECW Guilty as Charged 2001, which was
last
the
pay-per-view.
last ECW pay-per-view.
and they were literally gone days later.
Yeah, they did 2 final shows out in Ohio, and it died with a whimper, right? It just ended. And then you had Paul E show up on Raw,
Just show
replacing
up.
Lawler, and he's got his ECW hat. And then you didn't get a proper goodbye, and then they immediately did the invasion angle, which was like a watered
Bad taste
down.
in your mouth, yeah.
So that being said, do you think this was...
I don't know if
You
it was
think-
that watered down. They came out to bodies.
Do you, do you think this should have been the swan song? Do you think this should have been it?
I mean,
Probably.
This should have
yes.
been
Yes,
anything else
absolutely.
after this?
If it had ended here, it
They
would be
did-
the perfect finale.
They put on a show that did not make me feel like ECW was rose-tinted glasses. They put on I believe this was a great show. They did the music. They did everything right. They fucking got Enter Sandman. They got Thunder Kiss fucking 65. I'm pretty sure they played Man in the Box for this
They
when
did.
Tommy Dreamer came
Yep.
out. Like, they did this so right, and they could... Making it a brand was never going to work because they couldn't do it. Fucking Sandman's ECW...
they couldn't do this every time.
Sandman's fake WWE theme was
I was
the
disappointed.
worst. And they overdubbed it here. I actually went and tried to find like a
Same.
real.
I tried to
link.
find it too. That's
Yeah.
scrubbed from history.
Yeah.
There's one that like pops up on Facebook every once in a while.
Of the real
Yeah,
entrance.
the real entrance of
Bing
Sandman.
Bang! It's Cactus Jack.
It's like it's very emotional watching it, and you're like, man, this could have been like the end.
And the
It
fans,
should have been the end.
the fans were so amped up they couldn't wait to chant "She's a crack whore" for Donna
Immediately.
Marie. Like they're
Yeah.
just wrestling and they're "She's a crack whore."
But that's where I do agree with you, Mikey, where there is that pent up energy, and every time a new person comes out, they get to release that
Yeah.
energy.
well, if they didn't get to chant it then, they might have never got to chant it. So
we're gonna do it all right now.
they couldn't wait. I thought this was a really solid match.
Absolutely.
I thought the crowd was like super hot for a really like this was the perfect
Opener?
opening match
Yeah.
for an ECW reunion, especially with a card that's completely unannounced.
Yes,
Right.
when you don't know what's coming, seeing Lance Storm come out and wear Chris Jericho, it's like holy fuck.
Yeah.
Although I will say that when they first came out, I did have some trepidation because I'm like, oh, it's just Lance Storm and Jericho, which is awesome.
Okay, but it's like WWE guys.
But then when you had Just Incredible show up, when you
Jason.
had Jason show up, you're like, okay.
When Joey Styles said, "Oh, it's Jason. I've got hives. I'm so
break
into
that
it." I love that. That was what a callback. He
yeah.
almost forgot it first,
Yeah.
and then he got into it.
Also, I love that like Joey Styles. You could tell Joey didn't have anybody in his ear
Yeah.
because he's just dropping
Yes.
every corny, shitty ECW. Up first plate of chops have been served this evening.
He especially has some choice words later on.
fucking Mexican whip, Japanese whip. He's doing all that
He
shit.
was on point.
He was getting in all of his buzzwords. It
And
was fucking-
considering he had to keep on carrying Foley, it was even more impressive.
yeah, Foley just should have stuck to Foley work.
Also, I feel like I've watched it. Like you have to remember like what Jericho was doing at this time in 05.
Right.
And I feel like he went out of his way. Like this was a different. This was really like this. You're getting Lionheart.
So not to jump ahead, but I will say that everything that Jericho does right in this match, Ray does wrong in his match.
Yeah, I would say that's fair. But we'll get to that point.
Okay, but match spot of the night, spot of the match. What did you
AG,
got?
what was your spot of the match?
My spot was actually the one we just saw on footage, which was the reverse of the moonsault from Lance Storm, which led into a
the-
reverse of the
Lion Tamer.
Lion Tamer.
Yes,
my spot of the
that was my
match.
spot of the match.
Mine
also.
as well. Can we have a unanimous decision?
My favorite spot of the match was the drop kick to the back of the head.
God
Oh
damn it,
yeah,
JC.
when Lance jumped to the top rope, jumped back,
Yeah.
ate the drop kick.
That was fucking cool.
That-
also,
Crowd
was
loved
there,
that
was there a
too.
tiger fucking suplex in there?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, like there was like the entire match was fantastic. That was fucking Impact Players pose.
Also,
Meltzer had mentioned that he felt like Lance Storm should have been a cleaner finish for his last match.
Oh
because
fuck
this is-
that!
How about the fact that a non-contracted guy just went over a contracted
No
guy
shit.
on a WWE pay-per-view?
And
I think that's enough.
Just Incredible's fucking cane
Cane
shot
shot.
on Jericho, brutal.
Vicious.
Beautiful.
I noted that, like, I think Just Incredible as ECW champion was one of the biggest mistakes they've ever made. But even I marked out when he came out with the cane and, like, they did the spot. Like, I'm like, all right. They got me to fucking mark out. But I still think they should have put the world title on Storm instead of Credible for the Impact Players.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. But like, I feel like they knew that they could keep Just Incredible, where Lance Storm, he was more of a wild card, where he's a guy that
It's the
could get
first time
signed at
in-
any point.
First time in history anybody ever said Lance Storm is a wild
Wild card Lance Storm, that's what they call him.
The most boring man ever was a thrill seeker.
There was-
and he's a wild card.
There was also this spot in this match where Jericho went to back body drop Lance Storm, and he kind of like turned and landed on his face
Yeah.
and popped right. I thought that was really cool too.
This was a great
Like,
way to
full
start the
control
show.
over your body. JC, how long did that match feel to you?
Not long enough, but I'm gonna say it was like
That's a fucking. That's a
8 minutes, tight 8 minutes.
7:22.
Okay.
I think that's a theme
That's
of
a
this
running
show.
theme. They
Yeah.
could have given more
Well,
time.
nothing overstayed its welcome too, which
yeah.
I was.
I think there
Oh.
was there were several
All right,
spots,
okay.
but they all involve the same people.
They all
so-
involved Atlas Security and Mike Keener. Fuck you.
No, they involve these empty seats that were.
Oh,
seen
here we
right
go.
now,
Again,
which will soon be filled.
We had next up we got the Pitbull Gary Wolf giving his little speech before the In Memoriam segment.
Now, here's we see a couple of these throughout the show.
Uh-huh.
And-
This is the only one I really needed in my life. Like,
But
I don't care.
I felt like it was cool to have, even if it was only going to be this little spot. Like, here's Gary Wolf, here's Al Snow, here's this guy who we can't have on the show, but he's here.
Yeah.
They're here for ECW.
So I appreciated that this was edited on like a video toaster from 1996. There's something about it's very ECW that I
Yes.
loved about it, where it didn't feel overproduced by
paused.
the WWE.
I thought it was
I
frozen.
didn't. It is frozen.
I thought
good.
he was just making that face.
I don't
Yes.
know how I felt about the song choice for
Oh,
this.
yeah, it's in the WrestleMania Hall of Fame almost.
I will
Remember you.
Will you?
So they,
the timeline for me, as far as the guys who they added in this, really I was like, whoa, this guy was dead by then. This guy was dead by then.
So let me give it the rundown on who was remembered in the In Memoriam. Rocco Rock, Terry Gordy, Crash Holly, The Sheik, Mike Lazansky, Pitbull number 1, Big Dick Dudley, and Chris Candido. I believe Luis Piccoli is a glaring omission from that list. I feel like Luis Piccoli,
He definitely should
I
have been
mean,
there.
yeah, absolutely.
and if they waited like a year or so, Johnny Grunge. He was.
Well, the one note that I had on this show is that the ECW Remembrance video was a little light, but if they just waited 3 extra years,
Yeah.
a lot more full.
It blows my mind that the ECW show doesn't have as many dead people as you'd think. On
That's
it.
true.
You know, like in the grand scheme of things. Fucking
I love the Terry Bam Bam Gordy.
Yeah, but Terry Gordy only had a handful of matches in ECW.
Yeah, but because all I remember is ECW
The Battle
TV.
of the Bam Bams.
Bam Bam. Yeah, that was played so many times on TV. It was etched in my mind.
And they couldn't even find a fucking video of Crash Holly in ECW.
Right.
He made one televised appearance. It's like, yeah, it's very
And
sad.
don't forget about Mike Lazansky.
That
I actually have a Mike Lazansky story. I believe it was like Raven or someone that was telling the story, where at ECW, you would only get paid if you worked. Mike Lazansky would show up to shows, change into his gear, wet down his hair, tell someone that he worked, and get paid.
That's amazing.
All right.
He's officially accepted into
That's
this
why-
video.
Yeah.
Holy shit, that's the best.
Did you guys ever hear my theory on like WrestleMania weekend?
What?
So I've never been to a WrestleMania weekend. This year will be my first year. So how many wrestlers just go to shows to help out? Right?
Oh, yeah.
A ton. So what I've always wanted to do, I never did, is the Monday or Tuesday after WrestleMania weekend, just email the promoters that were there and thank them for letting me help out, even though I was never there.
Yeah, just like, hey man, thanks so much. Even if I could just set up the ring, I'm happy.
Yeah, I was happy to do it. I was happy to set up the chairs for you.
Yeah, I helped bring it, tear it down, and
Yeah,
put it
they'll
up.
never know. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Except unless they listen to this podcast.
Unless anyone,
Trust me, no one's listening to this podcast.
unless anyone like hires us to do a ring crew, then we know because it's only the two of us. Then we'll know.
There was a big omission from this remembrance video. Fry-E, the ECW frying pan mascot.
Yeah, R.I.P.
Yeah.
R.I.P. representing the shirt right now,
Yeah,
currently.
Get the shirt on T Public, our T Public
rest
store.
in pan.
So what's next on here?
Next up, we have the Sinister Minister and Mikey Whipwreck accompanying Yoshihiro Tajiri to the ring. It's the Unholy Alliance.
I was kind of bummed
That it wasn't a tag match?
Yes.
That Mikey wasn't on the show? Yeah,
Yes.
me too.
Hey, he got a fucking whippersnapper in.
He did,
What more do
but
you need?
A super whippersnapper.
super whippersnapper.
Could they have not done a three-way dance tag match?
I mean, yeah, of course. They could have. But who else are they going to team? There wasn't enough guys around.
I guess they could have just thrown JT Smith in with Super Crazy.
I had one
Yeah,
question.
right.
I have one question about this show, Hardcore Homecoming, everything else. Where the fuck was Chili Willy?
Right? Chili Willy should have been teaming with Super Crazy.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Where was Tom Marquez?
Yeah, where's the Prodigy? Where's the Prodigette? Where's Nicole Bass? Actually, where was Big Sal?
Yeah.
We got fucking Big Guido? Who
Listen,
the fuck gives
we
a
get-
shit?
He's interchangeable.
I did love that
No, they're not.
Big Sal's
No.
just as much as the FBI as fucking anybody.
Yeah, we agree
Yeah.
with that. That's
Who
why we
the
wanted
fuck is
Big Sal
Guido?
there.
Who is Big Guido?
Listen,
You
he's
wo-
fine.
Big Guido appeared at Heatwave 96, and then, like, who knows?
I love the fact that
JT Smith's there.
yes,
Yes.
and the fact
Tracy?
that it'll be another thing you see throughout the show. Even if the guy's not wrestling, man, are they wearing their
They're
best
all wearing their gear.
their best shit? Like, oh, you never know. I don't know if Sabu's gonna make it.
I don't know.
I might have to hop in there tonight.
I wish Tommy Rich was there.
Yeah, right? C.W. Anderson
Yeah.
and fucking Chris Chetty were like, no, we're not going to get in their gear. Like, you can sit in the crowd then.
You know, tell the crowd's really pumped up because Tony Mamaluke gets a chant.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like, man, everyone's pumped. Fucking Tony Mamaluke.
Marmaluke. Tony Marmalade.
Marmaduke.
Where was Skull Van Crush? That's what I want to know.
Right? We're DeBaldies.
I also noticed, I think it was around this match, that the timekeeper was Mark Yeaton.
Yes, that was
I
weird
was
to
like,
me too.
goddamn WWE invasion.
WWE was just, they
He
were
just
just,
ring the fucking bell.
they were just giving him heat. I feel like the fans didn't even recognize Super Crazy at first until he got in the ring, that's when they really popped for him.
So, I mean, it was this show that got Super Crazy and Psicosis a job, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and Blue Meanie.
Right. Yeah.
For a couple months.
Uh-huh. Hey, you got paid.
So I looked into this. This exact triple threat match happened in ECW 17 times.
I believe it.
Yeah.
I fucking believe it.
17
And
times.
that's why it's on this. That's why it's on the show.
And that's just what's on Cage Match. I'm sure there was other cards that were missed.
And how many, and then think about how many times Super Crazy and Tajiri worked each other.
In general.
Just one-on-one.
Yeah, it's insane. Now, AG, have you ever worked anyone in this match?
I've actually wrestled every single person. I'm just kidding. No. So I've wrestled Guido on three
Separate.
occasions.
I'm a big fan of Little Guido.
Once singles, once tag, and then once in a 6-man at the ECW arena.
That's awesome.
Okay.
Also, fun fact, I had a match in the ECWA Super 8 tournament where my referee was the referee in this match, John Finnegan.
Oh, John Finnegan.
Oh, poor old John Finnegan Beginnigan.
Who was better, me or John Finnegan?
Oh, shit. Well, that uncomfortable silence answers that question.
No, Mike Pava definitely meant a lot more to be in the ring with.
It meant a lot more.
I heard it.
He's a really nice guy.
Hell of a guy.
Can I just say, like, you'll notice during this match and the first, in the great moonsault, you'll notice that, like, everyone is out there to, like, either A, get a job, or B, steal the show tonight.
I literally wrote down, everyone looks so motivated on this fucking show. It's a very stark contrast from when they went WWE ECW. Everyone was working their balls off.
I would love to hear Paul Heyman's speech before this show.
Oh my God.
Right?
Guys, this could be the start of a new era.
Do you think was Vince backstage here?
No, I think Johnny Ace was running the show.
So
Yeah.
no Vince at all.
I don't think Vince was at. Like, I don't think he was in Hammerstein.
He could not be bothered.
I don't know for sure. I'm just kind of.
Johnny Ace was definitely in the back because he was the person that confronted Blue Meanie post the brawl at the end.
Was this so? Had Guido already been a referee at this point for
No.
WWE?
No, he was probably still wrestling.
Okay.
For WWE.
He's
at this point.
probably still in the FBI with Big Vito and Johnny Stamboli, really.
Okay. Well, because on commentary, Styles does there. He's called Nunzio in WWE.
You know, it's funny.
Oh, where the fuck's Atlas Security? Where the fuck are they?
Well, they got to do the. Come on, calm down. Give him a chance.
Little Guido was actually supposed to have the role that Kurt Angle had during the Tough Enough competition. He was supposed to be the shoot wrestler that the Tough Enough people that had to
I
wrestle.
would have loved that.
That would have been great.
Paul Heyman was pushing for it to be Little Guido the whole time because he was a legit shooter. He was
Hey,
in
there's
great
Atlas
shape.
Security.
Yep, look at him up there keeping people back. He didn't look at that. Look at him keeping everyone back.
That's the only. That's actually the only workhorse of the group.
He actually looked like Atlas holding back the world on his back.
Super Crazy does his big moonsault dive off the balcony,
Spot of the
takes
match
out
for
the
me.
FBI and about 12 fans.
Yeah, but you know how happy those fans were?
And then Joey Styles.
ECW, I got broken ribs.
Yes.
ECW.
Bro, that's a fucking moment.
But see, you were talking about how
You couldn't do this?
How everybody looks like $1 million bucks, and they're really trying to get a job. The wrestlers were just as excited about this
Yes.
as the fans were.
Yeah.
Like, inside, like, this is great.
Except for Benoit and Guerrero.
We'll get there.
You'll get there.
We'll get there.
I love when he did the moonsault off the balcony. First of all, balcony dive blew my fucking mind as a kid.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I couldn't believe they did that. And then there was another spot later I couldn't believe they did. But I
Go
love
ahead.
Joey Styles yelling, "Ay Dios mío!"
Yep,
Spanish for, oh my God!
Classic Joey.
If, spoiler alert, because New Jack was not on the show, had New Jack been on the show, would he gotten the balcony
Yes.
dive?
Probably.
Yes.
Yeah, and Spike was like, please don't book him. Please don't book him. Please don't book him.
New Jack couldn't be on the show because he had warrants in New York.
Yeah, he can't wrestle in the state. He
Which
couldn't
is-
wrestle in the state of New York. at
He
the time.
couldn't be. They wanted him, but he
They
couldn't.
also wanted him
To be the guy that stabbed John Cena,
Yeah.
not Jesus.
and he couldn't get it because of New York again.
Why do they just want to bring in New Jack?
And
I
why
mean-
do they keep trying to do it in New York?
After a super... what was your guys' spot of the match, by the way?
With the
It's
moonsault.
not done yet.
Moonsault off the
It's
balcony?
No, we're not doing
We're
a
not
watch
watching
along.
it.
We're just talking about the goddamn show.
I know, but you're like, oh, he hits him with the.
Okay, so
he
he-
hits him with the
that
super
was what
thing,
you
and
did.
That wasn't the finish. That's when Mikey gets eliminated because it's a 3-way dance,
Okay.
and the match continues.
All right, Joey Styles, we get it. It's not like a typical triple threat match in WWE rules.
So what was your guys' spot of the match?
My spot of the match was the balcony dive.
I would like to say an honorable mention, like I pop for it, is when all the fans counted in 10
In
in
Spanish,
That was
yes.
awesome.
That was always
the 10
fun.
punch. Also, my spot of the match was the balcony moonsault.
Yeah.
It's gotta be. Yeah.
My,
It's gotta be. It's gotta be moonsault off the balcony.
my spot of the match was when Big Guido picked him up for the powerbomb and he gave him the mist. I thought that was really well done.
Man, we're so close to getting unanimous votes, but one person.
Oh, was yours balcony
Mine was
too,
balcony
Mikey?
dive.
So Little Guido was eliminated after Super Whippersnapper. JC, when do you think that elimination happened?
Oh man. So here's the thing, and especially this match, everybody's working super fast because they have those time constraints. I'm gonna say 4 minutes.
4 minutes and 9 seconds.
All right.
Nice.
Okay.
And then after a more awkward sequence than you'd think between Super Crazy and Tajiri,
A little bit of rust.
Super Crazy hit a powerbomb and a moonsault to get the win.
I was kind of surprised by that.
I felt like Super Crazy was the guy that had to win.
You think so?
Yes.
Was Tajiri still under contract?
Maybe.
No, I don't think he was at this point. His last match in WWE was actually in Boston on a Sunday Night Heat.
Really?
No kidding.
Yeah,
Okay.
it was a few months before this, I believe.
Okay. JC, how long did the match feel to you in whole?
So the rest of the match couldn't have. So the entire thing,
Yeah.
6.5 minutes.
6 minutes, 12 seconds.
All right. Yeah.
So right
Nice.
Like
Nice.
they fit a lot into 6.5 minutes. I'll give them the credit.
But this is another match that could have benefited from more time.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Sinister Minister tries to. And I think it was during the
power bomb.
The power bomb.
The fucking low blow on Big Guido.
But it looks like he just tears his quad. He like comes in and he falls over. He's like, "Oh, I'm just gonna punch you in the belly."
he falls and he's like, as he's falling, he's like, "Oh shit, I had the low blow," and he like reaches around.
There's something about seeing James Mitchell on a WWE produced show.
Worst low blow since Ashley Mason.
I was going to say that.
I always wish he could have been
Got
in
a run?
WWE. Yeah.
Who?
Mitchell,
The Sinister Minister. He's so good on the mic.
He was one of the best talents I feel like they never hired or never even looked into.
I mean,
really.
considering all the shit they've done with Kane over the years, they absolutely could have brought him in to be.
He was such a good talker, and
Yeah.
like I don't understand why they wouldn't use him. He's got a great look. He
He's
looks
a joker.
like the devil.
He's a smoker.
He's a midnight toker.
Yeah.
He's a karaoke.
Aw.
He actually is. He runs his own karaoke business.
That's true. That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's cool.
For the finish, super crazy power bombs the fuck out of Tajiri.
It's because there was that awkward spot at the very end where it looked like somebody was supposed to go for something and they both like went to duck and like
They both went for a kick at the same time,
Yes.
which is such a small thing. And, they
the
harped
crowd-
on that. You
they
fucked
were
up, chant.
waiting
They
for
were
it.
waiting.
they needed anything.
They were waiting for that release.
They were.
Do they think they had the brick ECW entranceway in the WWE warehouse?
Yes.
Actually,
Oh.
that brick entranceway is owned by the NYWC, New York Wrestling Connection, in Long Island, New York.
Really?
It's the original
Now,
entrance.
who owns that? Is that somebody?
A guy named Shane, but it was from Mikey Whipwreck was the head
Cut
trainer.
the
Okay.
fucking music. Oh,
Not Douglas.
Oh.
Not Douglas.
Fucking JT Smith getting killed by Mike Awesome, like during the promo package. Like when Mike Awesome did the dive over the ropes and broke JT Smith's back, I wasn't happy when they showed that. Like, and the same thing with when they showed Sabu getting his neck broken by Benoit.
Boy.
But there's just, again, these video packages, it's amazing because they're showing the true, real ECW.
And this
Life's
is
a bitch, and then you marry one.
this is another thing watching when I was like, man, they're really treating this like this is the end. And
It should have been.
really should have been. Like I kept watching, like, man, they're really going all out with this.
And while I appreciate the video packages, I feel like that was a big point on why everything else was so short, like match wise. Like I don't care about video package.
Yeah.
I saw it. I know what I watched. I watched the Rise and Fall of ECW. Like
Rewatching this, I wonder, and I ask you guys, in 2019, is there anything that could ever recapture like you can
Like
never do
this?
something
No.
something like this in 2019? Like there's no
could
nostalgia.
WWE do this?
Well, I mean, I'm not talking about ECW. I'm just saying in general. Like you're not going to do a TNA reunion pay-per-view
Unless
Not gonna-
WWE did like a Ring of Honor one night stand, or
But like, would that get
Are
the
you
same
saying
kind?
ECW specifically? You're saying
No, I'm
will there
not.
ever-
I'm
will there
saying
ever be
not
this-
ECW. I'm saying, can you find like a reunion show for a special one night off?
So I think about this actually, and like in 2009 or 10, like XPW tried to do a reunion show and just like
Oh
flopped.
my god!
it was as good as every other XPW
And, like,
show.
half the guys like weren't even XP. Like there's concussion, and
Ooh.
because they couldn't get Sabu. So this
my
guy's enough like Sabu. We'll just use
God.
concussion instead.
Should we bring in concussion, JC?
Yep.
No. I really,
Like I'm just like I mean ECW was a very singular special thing, and this like the ECW One Night Stand was amazing, but like in today's nostalgia culture, especially everybody's so looking.
No, you don't think a WCW show would do well?
You see, I would love that.
Oh my no! Please never.
If
I
they
would-
had if they had the full Nitro set with the flame fucking
That would be amazing.
pads,
Because I really want to see Glacier versus Disco Inferno.
Yeah.
Yes.
At an indie show, sure. On a WWE
Yeah.
pay-per-view,
but what
not
if they
some-
treated it just like WCW?
Now, what if they had Slim Jim posts?
if they got Tony Schiavone, then hell yeah.
and Scott
All right,
Hudson?
so
I need
okay,
Scott
so
Hudson.
now you're getting into it. But it's going to be Tony Schiavone and Mick Foley.
I hope JBL gives fucking Mark Madden the blue meanie treatment.
Yeah, I guess that just goes to show how special this entire thing was because you can't ever go back to this.
Next up on the card was Psicosis taking on Rey Mysterio. Psicosis comes out wearing his full Psicosis mask with the wig on, and then proceeds to take it off, which Joey Styles says is a show of respect in Mexico. I couldn't give a fuck less about it. He should have wrestled in the fucking mask.
One of my notes right there. Should have wrestled in the mask. Crowd also thought
Buried
so
it.
too.
Yeah.
Chanting, "Put the mask on."
Yeah.
That was hysterical.
And the only thing that quelled their vitriol was the sounds of, who's that jumping
Yeah.
out? This guy, boo! Rey Mysterio wearing his fucking pleather baggy pants. He should have been wearing tights, which he did the next year when he wrestled Sabu at One Night Stand.
I would also like to say if this was a WCW pay-per-view, you'd be hearing dun 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 dun.
And then they bring out
That gets you hype? Does that get you hype?
And then they bring
for
out
Loch Ness.
Yeah, they bring out Loch Ness next. Dun dun dun.
It's just an urn.
Oh.
It's a giant urn. And fucking bring it out on Dolly.
Dolly.
This is where I really started noticing that Joey Styles and Mick Foley weren't like gelling very well.
Now you know
This is really where it picked up to me, because this is where Joey's contradicting Mick, and Mick's like, yeah, well, maybe you don't have to correct me, and people wouldn't know. Like,
is this the match, or was it the last match where Mick Foley says, I'm not going to know any of this. I'm just going to sit back and watch.
I think it was
that
the last one.
Yeah.
Fucking trust me, he would have known all of this match.
We get a truffle shuffle from a fan in the crowd to start this match, which really set the tone for the rest of the match here.
I feel like about a quarter of the way through this match, they were going to work Lucha Libre, and then they said, fuck it. And then Psicosis just went to an American style, just putting heat on Rey. It was way slower than you'd anticipate.
Well, again, Jericho set the stage, man. You want to come in here and just follow Jericho's blueprint. Do the best that you can to imitate what you did in ECW before.
Like,
It starts off very early.
Yeah.
The miscommunication.
Yeah.
And I think they try to get the respect spot, but you can't when you're.
Ray's
when you
had a
mess up the
really
spot.
rough
yeah, they just
time.
fucked it up and did a face-off.
Yeah.
I would also like to say it probably wasn't very easy. I feel like anything that was WWE heavy was automatically shit on by the crowd. Also, this is the third wrestling match. Like, there's 3 matches in a row that are very similar
rate.
in
So
style.
you would have broken it up with doing a garbage match in between.
Absolutely.
Ray's had a real rough time at One Night Stands because next year he's World Heavyweight Champion working Sabu.
And they go to a no contest.
Yeah. No, they just did a double leg drop on the outside. Call it. They're too injured to continue.
I hated that. It was
was a DDT.
It was a DDT through the table.
Yeah.
And it was such a weak ass fucking spot. It's Sabu.
All the things you've seen Sabu do all over the years.
No. DDT through a table on the floor, dude. That's it for Sabu.
Oh, all right. I
Oh my
guess
god!
so.
I remember people were like, "Is it shoot?" No, like, shut up.
So as getting on Anthony's point, where anything WWE is heavily shit on, as soon as Rey goes for the 619,
619.
everyone's like,
Do it.
I didn't think anything was going to get more heat than when Psicosis threw on a sleeper hold and the players were like,
I'm gonna pull a lumberjake here, and spoiler alert: this isn't gonna be the only 619 he does tonight, and
Yeah.
the crowd hates both of them.
both of them. Why do the second one later on?
don't do it.
Yeah,
Agreed.
like literally.
Take it out of the repertoire.
Yeah,
That one night only. One night stand.
even if he did a fake dive and did the 619, I feel like they would have reacted better than like the kick version. If he
Yes.
did old school WCW where he just did
Right.
it as just a move,
Yeah.
like just as like almost like a taunt.
Yes, I did that on the game all the time.
Yes, I have a strong feeling we're all gonna have the same spot of the match for this one.
Let's go around, Anthony.
Spot of the match is the famous Psicosis bump in the corner.
You fucked it up, AG.
God
You
damn
fucked
it.
up. You fucked up.
Is all the rest of ours the guillotine?
Psycho guillotine.
God damn it.
I did write down the fucking the classic Psicosis death corner spot.
I also wrote down
Well,
how incredible the West Coast pop to the floor was.
Oh yeah.
On to fans, by the way.
Yes.
Psicosis tried to go for that move, but Rey. That's why, because right before that, he pushes Rey into the corner. Like, no, I gotta do my Psicosis. I gotta do my spot, brother.
He's like Chris Hamrick doing that spot where he flies
Yes.
out of the ring. He's like, I'm getting that in.
I gotta get that in.
Oh yeah, there's no Chris Hamrick on there on this show. Good.
Said nobody.
They're not brothers.
Ah, fuck, man. I'm a crowd. Chris Hamrick going on there
God
doing that
damn,
thing,
my
man.
fruit roll up looking tight.
I'm in fucking Plainfield, Connecticut, fucking training people, motherfucker. I don't know, man. Like, fuck, man.
Yeah, Scott in Vegas, you get a pile driver off the top rope.
Yeah, what the fucking David Loomis guy? What are you fucking doing over here, man? Like, fuck.
Yeah, I'm 30 years old.
You are? That is the truest thing you could have ever said. When I found out how old he was, I'm like, what?
Rey jumping into the crowd was crazy to me, and like shit like that is stuff you're never gonna see anymore.
Why is that a 6-year-old kid in the crowd?
That's Rey Mysterio.
Oh. Who that boy?
6 years old.
Oh man, yeah, this match.
So the West Coast Pop and the 619 get the 619 and the West Coast Pop rather get the win for Rey Mysterio.
All right.
JC, how long did that match feel to you?
It was 7 minutes.
Match went 6:22.
All right, I'm doing pretty good tonight on time.
I was gonna say, I've listened to a lot of Best in shows. This, you've gotten progressively better at times.
He's only
Just wait till the next one. He'll be way off. Fucking when he said 9 minutes for Savage Ultimate Warrior when it went 30 or something.
Listen, I have my good days and my bad, just like anybody else.
See, but that shows that he really loved this show.
Oh
because
yeah.
When he's on point,
Yeah.
if it not, it's like, well,
Or really
That's true.
hated, and he's
You're
like,
absolutely
all right,
right.
is this over
watching
yet?
watching your
That's
clock.
absolutely true. Yeah, but if I'm really invested in it, here comes the invaders.
I really could have done without every single one of the invader segments. I don't want them there.
I liked him there.
I'm 100% okay with Maven being there.
Well, I wrote that in my notes.
Yeah, what about me? What about Maven?
Imagine!
That
Maven
actually
come
would've
out
been
dressed
great.
as Raven?
That would have been amazing.
And then Tommy Dreamer comes out?
I would have loved that.
Well, here's the
but-
thing: do it all at once. Don't have SmackDown then Raw.
Right, but do you think this?
Quote the Maven, nevermore.
I
love that.
I don't. I get why they did it. I understand.
Do you?
I just think it could.
They needed the star power to draw.
That was my next question.
Oh,
Do you-
yes, Vince
Do you
Ive-
think
yes.
that was this? They were like a backup plan in case.
Not a backup plan. This was their plan. Like this is what the selling point of the
But
paper.
why have?
Do you think they could have sold out that balcony?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, the other 32 seats.
There was
not
people literally hanging from the fucking rafters. They showed like a fucking an overshot, and there's like a lady with her leg out like one of the bars, like sitting on top of the fucking like. There's people everywhere at this fucking show. Like they're doing a big pan around right now.
Right, and then you can leave all these seats open.
Do you think? But it gave the ECW fans a
Something
chance
to
to
hate.
really hate
Okay.
WWE.
I mean, sure.
to really like say fuck you, you're wrong, fuck you, we're right.
This is the dance.
And
I
feel like they didn't need like 20 guys.
or 20 segments.
So when I bought the I for some reason I had to buy the Rise and Fall of ECW DVD twice. I bought it the first time, and then I had to buy the
You
second.
bought the first disc and then you bought the second
Well,
disc.
when I bought the second copy of it, it was a double pack, and it came with ECW One Night Stand in 2005, and it had the alternate JBL audio
Drunk
commentary.
commentary?
So
track.
somebody had mic'd him up there.
Yes.
He was mic'd.
Holy whose idea was that? Because that's
Some
amazing.
genius. Yeah.
And he's getting progressively
Does
more
he
drunk.
bury everything?
Yes.
Yes.
See, this is why.
I wish I had.
Here's-
I was trying to find it earlier, and I wish I had it
Yeah.
for specifically the Mike Awesome Masato Tanaka match, because he really goes off in
Yeah,
that.
he's very vocal during. When they first come out, they turned their backs on him, which I thought was weird. Like, why them of all people?
They did that to Mike Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Also
don't
to
know
Paul
why.
Heyman later.
Okay.
I just, but see, to me, like that, there's real emotion here.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, there's a couple of guys up there that really hate
Hate.
this.
Well,
Hate
Kurt
it.
Angle
JBL,
really hated
Eric
ECW.
Bischoff, JBL, Kurt Angle, like these guys, like
Savon
all the
Grenier.
oth- like Snitsky's there, like all these guys are just there.
Rob
But
Conway.
Yeah.
those
The
four,
con man.
those 3 or 4, like holy shit, like
What if Rob Conway was trying to con his way into the ECW locker room? Like, I've been here all along.
Just look at me. They're like, Mike Lazansky? He's like, yeah.
Pay me.
Ain't I a sight to see?
I like how Joey's like just play anything. I get these guys off the screen.
Yeah, that was great.
Well, I mean, you had so when we watched Extreme Heat, I did like that they used footage of Angle from the
Yes.
ECW show as a part of the storyline with Taz.
Yeah.
But like Angle really didn't like ECW after that. Like there is genuine
Right.
animosity.
Exactly.
JBL was he was like fucking seething. Yeah.
Instead of the Invaders, there's only one thing I would have done on this show. Instead of having all these guys, have Jerry Lawler show up.
Lights out, lights on, Jerry Lawler, Jim
But
Cornette.
see, that was like they
Jake
needed all
Roberts.
these guys. Like you could have just had Jerry Lawler. Like,
That
one
would have been
guy.
amazing.
and he could have represented it all. But
and cost Tommy Dreamer the tag match later.
Or alternatively, just have Bischoff. Since Bischoff is being set
Right.
up as the antagonist in this story with the
Bischoff, JBL, it all would have made sense.
one from Raw, one from SmackDown.
Yeah.
And you just do that.
We get another ECW Memories video.
Wait, before we get there, I have two things about this promo that I absolutely love.
Okay, go for it.
No, the promo hasn't happened yet, has
No,
it?
go for it. Just
Oh,
yeah,
so- I'm
yeah,
sorry.
We're there.
So
We're
you
there.
talking about
Well,
when Joel Gertner showed up?
Yes.
Right. Real quick before we do that, in this video, we see a lot of 911.
Yes.
I have a hot take.
Oh.
911 had the best choke slam ever in wrestling.
Okay.
I mean,
I forgot to mention this earlier. At Hardcore Homecoming, Danny Doring and Roadkill interrupted Tammy Sitch, Johnny Grunge, and Pitbull. They interrupted them and told them to beat it, and then 911 came out and chokeslammed him.
Oh, I
that's-
thought he was dead.
he's still alive.
Good for him.
What?
Joey Janela was just trying to book him for Mania weekend.
Jeez.
Just have him throw a choke slam. That's it.
Was it just me, or is anyone else scared that JBL
Was
almost
gonna push
Joe
Gertner
off the
Gertner over the
balcony?
Yep.
I literally
Yep.
have that.
spot of the night?
He almost murders
Spot
him.
of the night.
He kicked him full toe in the asshole
in the
as hard
asshole.
as he could. Do you know how much that hurts?
Yeah, it didn't look like, if you just watch it, like it looks like he just kind of, if you're not paying attention, but he
Kicked him.
kicked him right in the asshole.
He kicked him so hard.
And like, I really think he was trying. If Gertner didn't just like fall the way he did,
Yeah.
he would have went
he
over the
would have
barrier.
went over. He would have survived because the place is
Yeah,
packed.
they would
they
have
crowd surfed
They
him.
would've-
That would have been awesome.
Back up to the balcony.
Now I'm really
he's
sad
a-
that didn't happen.
He's a good 25 feet in the air. Like, they're pretty high up.
Yeah, fucking Bubba Ray Dudley had people jumping off of that thing to come fucking fight him.
Owen Hart wishes he was at ECW.
Hold for edit.
Yeah, you're really throwing him out there.
Hey, fucking okay, JBL one, just put down that beer.
Jesus Christ.
We gotta bounce those checks.
Here it
Also,
comes.
also with that promo, like, did you guys? Jeez, so
Kills
scary.
him.
The fucking the fucking bar's at knee level. Like that's perfect trip and height.
I feel like during JBL's portion of this promo, like the crowd was just booing the like.
Doesn't matter what you said.
I just hated the fact that he just tried. Like he didn't eat up that.
No,
moment.
they-
He's trying to cut his wrestling promo.
He just tried to cut the
Well,
promo
he was
over
drunk
it.
and just trying to shout him down.
I
Well,
just-
he's not even drunk. He's progressively more drunk. They're drinking throughout the show.
Yeah.
They had him. Yeah, they had him drinking at the other. They had him drinking already before they showed up. He does commentary for Lance Storm versus Chris Jericho too.
Yeah.
like wherever they were
They're
before.
in the back. Yeah, they're
like JBL was still mic'd up and they were still getting drunk. Oh, Shane Douglas shirt. Edit that out.
So, going through Meltzer's notes for this show, apparently the WWE crew that was there, whether it's officials or other guys, were really appalled by the ECW audience, and
Like they were surprised.
kind of just like, these people are animals. Like, look at this. Like,
But
they didn't understand. Here's the thing: they didn't understand.
That's a positive.
That's a positive.
Yeah.
Exactly. They're like, wow, look at this. These the rabid fans.
The counterculture with the
Look at these guys. They like what they see and they're into everything. Ugh.
like this was
Nerds.
a community. It's a community. It is truly like this great. Oh
Like
man,
people never stopped giving heat. They never there was never a little lull.
Kurt Angle has the worst insult ever. As the you
Your
suck
mom
dick
taught
shit.
me how.
No, that's my favorite insult.
Yeah, is it?
But that's just, they're trying so hard.
I actually said
to
that
talk
exact line
over.
at the last NCW show to a
you
little
did.
kid that said Lumberjake sucks. I said your mom taught me how.
Did you already watch the show at this point?
No.
You're a regular JBL.
So here they thankfully the SmackDown crew are cut off by the one and only Fonzie.
Thank
And
you.
our-
Rob Van
Did this have to
Dam.
go so long? Like,
So I want to know: do you think that was like a Paul Heyman call right there?
I mean, I think
Like,
they were
hey, yo-
always supposed to interrupt.
But do you think it was that soon? Because
No.
it looked
it
like
took way too long, in my opinion.
Yeah, do you think Paul Heyman was like, "This is going way too long. Just fucking cut their mic"?
Well,
right
JBL
now.
has a very specific cue, so I think he was supposed to hit it earlier, and I think he just kept on rambling. And when he finally got, just hit the music.
Ugh.
But here's my hot take. This is the best promo of Rob Van Dam's career.
Yes.
Yeah, that's fair.
100%.
This is the most emotional, real genuine Rob Van Dam.
I would say since Barely Legal 97, where he cut that post promo saying where he would go to Monday nights and blah blah blah. I thought that was a great promo.
Oh, that was because he wasn't even scheduled to be on the show and was a last minute replacement. So again, these real emotional happenings when he gets that opportunity, and that's part of the promo where he's like, WWE doesn't let me be this guy.
RVD is similar to me.
Cool, whatever.
Yeah.
RVD is similar to me, where we're both huge potheads, and our best promos come from half shooting.
Yeah, when you're yelling and half crying and screaming. Like,
I'm in a glass case of emotion.
Pissing AG's gear back.
I don't get it. Hold for edit.
Fucking Rhyno attacks. Interrupts the RVD promo,
which was awesome.
Yeah, that was fantastic. He gave him the big spear.
Yep.
There was a potted plant right next to Rob Van Dam. He kicked that too.
So surprised that the crowd didn't actually shit on him when he said he kind of put over the one night stand, but he said this sucks worse than missing WrestleMania.
No, he said it didn't. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, exactly.
I'm surprised they just didn't boo the fact that he said WWE show.
It was funny that he's like, this is worse than missing Booker T's wedding.
He said the overseas tour, Booker T's wedding,
and Wrestle freaking Mania.
But wasn't, and I don't know if we talked about this, was like Rob Van Dam hard passed on the overseas tours?
Yes, he refused to go.
He's like, yeah, that sucks. Hard pass.
He wouldn't do tribute to the troops.
Right.
He would not. And Vince was like, everyone was like, you should really do it.
Oh, because it was optional. Because it was optional.
Quote unquote
right.
Optional. Even though you got in trouble if you didn't go.
Rhyno gores the fuck out of Rob Van Dam, and then the lights go out.
A very ECW segue to get to this next match. 8 points away, baby.
So when we were young, my cousin and I were younger, and we were giant ECW fans. Whenever I would stay over his house, when I would come downstairs into the basement, I would come down and I would turn the lights off. Then they would pop back on, and I would just be in those Sabu pose.
Lights come back on. Cipriano Abruzzi.
Like that. Like this is such an ECW fucking Sabu. Like my favorite fucking thing in the world.
Just lights come on and fucking pointing at the sky.
Yeah, exactly. We would do it all the time.
Always waiting for Sting.
Yep, always waiting for Sting.
Nope, that was Sabu and Taz Sabu, for me. Yeah.
The Sabu thing, he pointed at the sky because he didn't understand what lights were. So he was a wild man that didn't understand what like the ceiling lights were. So that's what he was pointing at. He thought it was, yeah, little fun fact for you. That's where the original gimmick came from.
That is fun.
Yeah.
Big props to Sabu. No fuck-ups in this match.
He was working
hard, man.
On point.
Fucking he didn't do that thing where he jumps up on the chair and then back and then jumps back on his feet. Like Sabu,
the double, triple, quadruple jump moonsault.
Yeah.
The only downside to the lights off is that we didn't get Hookah Blues to start.
Yeah. I was excited when we got Hookah Blues at the end.
Yeah.
Hookah Blues is one of the best theme songs, and it was an original too, like Harry and the Slash Tones.
Mm-hmm.
Like, great song, great, and it was so good they just used it for any pay-per-view hype they needed.
I know we're getting into the match, but before they did the run-in, I loved Rob Van Dam. You know, if they would have listened to me, you would have been hired years ago, Fonzie. Like, I love that Fonzie's here. I love everything about this segment. Segment into match was just, it was very ECW.
They never brought Fonzie back into WWE ECW.
Nope, this was it. This is one shot.
This is his big thing.
Which again goes to Mike Pava's, it should have been the finale.
Yeah, they did everything right at this show.
They did.
It was surprising how right everything was.
Do you think Rob Van Dam should have came out to walk?
Yes.
Do you think the crowd would have fucking went in, like,
it would have been amazing.
Also, do you think it would have been a bigger reaction if it went lights out, lights on, Rhyno?
Yes, I do. I absolutely do.
And then lights out again, Sabu.
Yeah, lights off, lights on, Rhyno. People would have thought it was going to be Sabu.
Yeah. Oh, here's a big reunion.
Yeah.
And no,
lights
it's
off.
Rhyno. Boo.
Lights off, lights on, Sabu.
Oh, he's actually here.
And then lights on, lights off, Taz.
Lights off, lights on. Nobody's in the ring. Lights off, lights on. Jerry Lawler.
Clap on, clap off.
Listen. And then Paul Heyman forgot to pay the electric bill and it just doesn't turn back on again. I love this match. This was great. This was a real quintessential ECW match.
Now you said Sabu didn't fuck anything up. I would argue it wasn't necessarily a fuck up as much as he didn't protect himself when Rhyno tripped him and he ate the fucking chair.
Oh,
He smashed his face so hard on the setup chair.
That's my spot of the match.
Oh my god, he fucking dented that with his fucking like
His chin.
Luckily he hit it with his nose and chin, like all the nice soft bones in your face.
the ECW fans with the "You got fired" chants for Rhyno.
Yeah, but they all got fired, so whatever.
AG, what was your spot of this match?
A real weird one, honestly. My favorite was Rhino's cell onto the chair.
Yes,
after the poetry in motion.
He gave him the poetry in motion off the chair, and Rhyno sells forward and falls forward and hits his face on the back of the chair.
Guillotine's just like thrown.
That was my spot of the match too. I thought that was really fucking like that's just a worker smart. Like that was just something that was there.
It's probably 100%
not
just
called,
right there.
just fucking. Oh, what a great move by Rhyno.
My spot was more of an emotional spot of the match. Was Fonzie getting gored? There was just something like it was just like
Did Fonzie get gored?
yeah,
I
right?
miss that?
Didn't he get gored?
I
Or was that the referee?
The referee got
That was
gored.
Pee-wee.
Pee-wee
Oh, I
Herman.
thought it was Fonzie.
No, Fonzie was fine. Luckily, Mike Keener was also fine. Mikey.
You know what?
okay.
I like the. I just like this match. There was just everything like Sabu. You're right. Sabu was on point. And which is weird because he didn't get hired for a year later.
Yeah.
Um,
And it's so weird that they were all coming off of Hardcore Homecoming, so these people are not at 100% anyway.
yeah. Sabu has this one little piece of tape over his face.
Over his
because
face?
from Hardcore Homecoming.
No, it's actually he was a big Lisa Left Eye Lopez fan.
Oh,
Yeah, he's like Nelly.
Sabu actually had a tryout for WWE a week after this pay-per-view.
really?
And it wasn't because of the pay-per-view. It was already scheduled before the pay-per-view.
No
even
shit.
happened. So, and as to JC's point, he still wasn't hired until a year later.
Vince was a real because Vince was a giant Sandman fan.
Love the Sandman.
Like it's just like Vince. I
Vince
think
McMahon hates smoking, but he loves all the smokers.
Remember when he almost became general manager of Raw?
he was
Man.
he was the last one in there for Vince's son. The
As a
DNA
shoot,
test.
as a shoot though.
They're calling people out of the rig.
And then, like, at the very end, they look around, and Sandman's still in there because nothing they said disqualified him. He's
And the crowd's going crazy.
like, when Vince looks and sees the Sandman behind him, and he's not even supposed to be there. And then he just goes, "No ECW originals." And Sandman just...
They should have just made Sandman Vince's son.
It was like, former world champion, blonde, like, everything. Oh my god, it was fucking hilarious.
Holy
It was
shit.
down to like Mr. Kennedy and Sandman.
Kennedy!
Sabu hit Rhyno with the Arabian Skull Crusher through a table. JC, how long does the match feel to you?
5 minutes? Wait. 6 minutes.
6 minutes and 30 seconds.
Nice.
All right.
After this, Raw finally arrives.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Someone gets in Eric Bischoff's face and says, "Fuck you," and Eric Bischoff goes, "Fuck you back."
But you can't discount the cameo appearance of Al Snow with Head.
That's right.
You know,
You invited these people, didn't you?
It was all
Oh my
Head's
god, that
fault.
was so funny.
Head's an invader?
Head
Yep.
invited everybody.
Yeah, because he had the one with hair in ECW. He only had the styrofoam one.
Oh.
Do you guys know that? While Al Snow was in ECW, there was supposed to be a gimmick where Cyrus, who was in WWE at the time as the Jackal, Al Snow's mannequin head was supposed to slowly turn into the one he got in WWE in ECW, and then finally it would have a jewel in the middle of its head like the Jackal wore, and it was going to be the Jackal took over Al Snow's mind,
Oh.
and head was like a representation of the Jackal.
So ECW.
Never got to happen.
Breathe with me.
A guy straight up spits beer in Eric Bischoff's fucking face when he walks by.
Yeah, that was
And
really...
Alice Security did nothing about it.
And I was fine with that.
Dude, I didn't know if someone blew smoke or spit beer. It looked like someone just spit a fucking just...
Hey, Mr. Downey, don't you blow no more smoke in my face.
Really happy to see Tyson Tomko here, though.
Yeah, Tom
Yeah.
Cohen Christian.
Yeah, Tomko, give me a beat.
No.
Wrong guy.
Next up, we got Chris Benoit versus Eddie Guerrero, and Joey Styles goes, "Guys, get ready for the best thing you're ever going to see in your life."
Yeah.
One thing that I'll say just before we go past the Raw guys is that when Gertner came back with his application to try to get a job, that was awesome.
That was
was
hilarious.
I can get you coffee.
Like, and how great would it have been had Gertner got a job as the Raw? Like,
Yeah.
He could have been like the Johnny Nitro.
He would have been
Yes.
he would have been super like heel to the ECW guys because he turned on ECW at One Night Stand.
Yes, that
Like-
would have been. I would have loved that. I would have loved
Look
that.
at the coach. He was the host of Extreme Heat.
Which is where when you sent me that and I watched that and I didn't realize that it was number one ECW superfan Michael Cole and the coach in the lobby of the Hammerstein, and the fans are like, "Fuck you, coach! Fuck you, suck dick!" And
Yep.
they're and Spike TV's trying to edit out the.
And they got the crowds in front of them, and you can barely see everybody. You can barely see Cole and Coach because the crowd is just
Going crazy.
ape shit.
It's so funny because they went to commercial during Extreme Heat and they came back and the crowd was decidedly less rowdy. And Coach goes, "Ha, the police arrested 2 guys. Now everyone's shut up now."
they start getting loud again.
And it looked, and they actually had police standing there. So it's like, I believe the police did arrest 2 people.
So yeah, everybody expected this match to be amazing.
Match
huh?
of the night. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean when they
Best
came
in
out,
show, you would say?
yes.
when they came out, I was like, wow, this is gonna be great.
Really?
But
I have one problem with this. Like, just
One-
looking.
just one?
Oh, to start, just
okay.
just looking at the match, it just like screams WWE pay-per-view match.
Yes.
Yeah, that's fair.
Because these guys, and it was said on commentary, never worked each other in ECW.
I would say that
well,
Benoit, Guerrero, and Jericho were all barely ECW originals.
Right.
Barely
Same with Rey
legal.
Mysterio. Barely At least Rey had the feud with Psicosis and shit.
Eddie and Malenko had a bunch of
They
matches.
had a few matches,
Eddie was television champion.
but
Yeah,
the crowd
and-
also
yeah.
shit on them.
So-
Shit on them. Like,
If you look at it from the perspective of this is Paul Heyman's fantasy lineup, he can go ahead and pick whatever matches he could get for ECW.
and they had
One Night
mentioned that in
Stand.
commentary that this is a match that Paul always wanted to have and never got a chance to have it. So now it's
Yeah,
He's
yeah,
chance to do
yeah.
it.
A few problems with this match too is that Eddie Guerrero had just turned heel. He had turned heel on Rey Mysterio, and he was being very protective of this new character that he was doing.
which is a mistake.
And they do this fucking match, and he doesn't want to play ball, right?
Nope.
He doesn't want to go along with it because this is this big one-night tribute show.
Well, we talk about Jericho. We talk about as
Doing things the right way.
as many Ray made a few mistakes, but it still worked for him. Eddie just didn't want. You're right. He didn't want to
Do business,
have any part
yeah.
with it. It was like
I feel like this era of guys, like the early the guys that broke in like late 80s, early 90s, like they pride themselves on like, all right, this is my character. This is who I am right now. I don't care like where I am. I'm being paid by the WWE. I'm going to portray this character.
well, the crowd matches Eddie and Benoit's attitude of Benoit and Eddie's Guerrero's attitude of not giving a fuck.
Yeah.
The crowd proceeds to also not give a fuck as they
Yep.
give more attention to the Raw invaders than they do at all this match.
But that's the problem, but that's directly related to Benoit and Guerrero, because if Benoit and Guerrero gave the fans anything, they would have gotten into the match.
The crowd tried,
This
and then they said,
Exactly.
fuck it.
The crowd gave them an opportunity.
this might sound shitty, but I feel like at least for the first couple minutes of this match, Benoit and Guerrero wrestled for themselves.
Yeah.
And not for like
Yes.
the crowd that they're in front of. And I even wrote down, you have 2 world-class wrestlers in the ring right now, and the crowd like said fuck it, went into business for themselves and just started burying the Raw and SmackDown guys. Like they were they wanted to have fun. This isn't Benoit Guerrero time. This is the ECW reunion. We're going to do what we want.
And if this
Very good
was,
point.
and if these guys were, and again, I hate to say that they're not real ECW wrestlers because they absolutely were, but if you were really into the mindset of this being an ECW show, you would have found a way to get those fans back.
Yeah, well, if Benoit and Guerrero, if they gave them quick chain wrestling, that's what they want. They give them fucking what Lance Storm and Benoit did, or Lance Storm and Jericho did. They don't care. Just they'll give you this. They're giving respect for shit that didn't deserve. Like he gave him like an arm drag. And fans are giving him like, yeah, more wrestling, guys, and they don't care.
Right. And then, of course, Guerrero getting busted open did not help his mood.
Yeah,
at
he
all.
got shoot busted open in the nose. They were doing like a amateur wrestling sequence, and I would assume Benoit's head.
Yeah, probably just
hit
like just
him.
hard way right
Yeah,
in the
just
nose.
kinda
Yeah,
just
got him
went
the wrong
back.
way.
That pissed off Eddie more. And I heard these guys almost got into an actual fist fight.
Yes,
at
that's
this
true.
show.
Really?
Correct, yeah.
About this match. Like after the match, Benoit was pissed, Guerrero was pissed, and,
Because Benoit was like, it felt that Guerrero wasn't trying, and he wasn't happy about putting over Benoit.
You're not fucking putting over Blue Meanie or fucking. It's Chris Benoit. You guys are fucking friends.
Yeah.
Fucking work with the fucking guy.
This is also after WrestleMania 20, where they both shared that moment in
Yeah.
the ring. So like,
Well, this
why
is a year
couldn't-
later.
Exactly. Why couldn't?
We're also, what, like 7 months away from him passing, Eddie Guerrero passing away.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't know. It's a real...
Well, fucking
I'm
this
not
crowd died
expecting-
first.
I'm not expecting Eddie to come out and be a baby
my
face after the big turn, but like,
Give
fuck,
them
man.
something!
Like, what the fuck?
Nope. No. Not giving me nothing.
Yeah.
I honestly had a hard time finding a spot of the match.
I gave
Yeah,
the
it
top
was
rope suplex.
Me
I was
too.
like,
That's the only thing
I
but there
didn't-
were two. Okay, who gave it better?
Okay, let me say my
Which
spot of the
dead guy did it better?
oh, jeez.
my favorite spot of the match was not the superplex itself. It was when Benoit gave the superplex and he like bounced over, like he did like a flip when he landed. It was crazy. He landed on
Also-
his back and then bounced like into like a backflip.
You just said Super Lex, and now all I wish was that Lex Luger was a superhero.
Oh my
did
God.
Super Lexes all over the place.
And he just showed up at ECW One Night Stand and ended this match.
That would have been awesome. What if Sid showed up?
Okay, Scott Hall.
Yeah.
Ready or not, here I come.
Um,
You can't hide.
My spot of the match was just because I liked how they did it. Benoit putting Guerrero on the top rope and
Yeah.
then just immediately hitting the superplex.
Yeah.
No, there was no struggle. It was just, here you are. There
Boom.
you go.
How about a chin lock? Would that be a good idea in this match?
Like this whole match was just. It was so disappointing.
Disappointing is a good word.
Disappointing. That's the only way I can put it.
Yeah.
These guys were. I can't even say it for Benoit, but Guerrero didn't fucking care.
Benoit, but again, Benoit didn't know how to handle the crowd either. Like,
Fucking
should have just broke Eddie Guerrero's neck.
crowd would have popped for the nostalgia. Benoit wins with a crippler crossface that Eddie barely sold. He's just kind of we're watching
He just
the video.
kind of
He's just sitting
kinda,
there
like,
waiting
tap, but he doesn't even tap like
with any
he's
like urgency.
all right, I
He's
guess.
like yeah, tap tap tap.
It's a little
Yeah,
uncomfortable.
look, oh man.
It's a little
We're just
uncomfortable. I
watching-
guess I'll tap.
We just
out.
watched the WrestleMania 20 of Triple H tapping to Benoit.
Yeah.
and
And it was
the
so well
emotion,
done.
Yeah, and
Yeah, I guess I'll tap.
He wasn't even. Ugh, Eddie, come on.
all right, let me roll out. I guess I'm done here.
Roll out.
Nah,
Dun-
homie.
Roll out.
Stop that.
It was at this point I was thinking, I'm like, could this?
JBL clapping. That was a wrestling match.
I was thinking, like, could Eddie Guerrero and Chris Benoit like the worst match of the night? Like,
We'll find out on Best in Show.
On paper, this should have been the
Match of the night.
tonight, and match of the night, and match to watch. Like I would think, man, you gotta see this one.
JC, how long did that match feel to you? You seem decidedly less enthusiastic than you have the other ones.
So the other thing is that I think this might have been the longest match on the show. 9 minutes?
I mean,
This match, you want to take a guess?
no, I don't think it was. I mean, go ahead.
This match went 10 minutes and 37 seconds.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it felt like it was here's where Gertner
Yeah, Joe
gave his,
Gertner asked Eric Bischoff for a job.
this is where Maven said, he don't deserve to be on Raw.
What about me?
He's totally right.
What about Maven? Maven, unsung hero.
Yeah, he sure is.
Next up, we have Awesome is his name. They played Awesome Bomb. I was so happy. Another Harry Slash and the Slash Tones original.
Fuck yeah, Sakaka.
It's Mike Awesome taking on Masato Tanaka.
I'm so glad this match. I did not know this match was going to happen. Like, I mean, I know it now.
I was
Yeah.
surprised at the time when that they let
Yes.
this happen. Like,
Yes.
do they understand what they're getting themselves into here?
I'm
they
going to say
sure
no.
gonna find out.
I'm going to say they did not know what they
you
were getting
don't
themselves
think?
into.
You think they may have watched one Mike Awesome versus Masato Tanaka match?
Dumb West. I watched this match as a 15-year-old, and I'm like, they can't do that. They can't do that.
They did it all.
They were doing it all for the nookie. This was Joey Styles lost his fucking mind.
You think so?
He lost his fucking mind.
Suicide dive by Mike Awesome. It's a shame he didn't succeed by taking his own life.
And then he said it later on, a few seconds later, he was like, no, really, it's a shame. I wish he did.
Give it a couple years, Joey.
Here's the turn. The first time that they turned the back, it
yeah,
was to Mike Awesome.
The
Okay,
Raw
so
Crusaders.
Raw turned their back, and JBL's like, yeah, I love this
JBL
guy.
doesn't know what's
I
going
love this
on.
British shit. I just may move to England.
He's like, oh, why you guys turning around?
I want to hear the commentary.
I can't see the show if I turn around.
Yeah, what do you got? I can't shit on anything if y'all ain't looking.
I'm drunk. I'm going to stumble backwards and fall over this balcony.
So
I just wanna
that would have been awesome because all the fans part and they just let JPL crash.
I just want to say these two came in to either A, steal the show, or these guys wanted a fucking job.
Kill each other.
These guys wanted a
But
job.
they had a gross misunderstanding of what would have gotten them a job. The other
They did everything to guarantee they would never be asked back.
This wasn't for that. This
No,
is,
I know.
This is
This is for them.
Yes.
They also wrestled the match just for themselves, only the crowd loved it.
So there's a giant disconnect also between the announcers because JBL's shitting on the match, and if you listen to the commentary, he's like, "Oh, look at that! They're gonna kick out again! Oh, kick out, kick out!" And then Foley's like, "Look, I think they're starting to appreciate
Mike
this
Awesome.
match. They're really getting into this match." I'm like, "You don't
they're-
understand,
They're making
guys.
fun of it, Mick.
Yeah, they don't understand.
Mike Awesome does the suicide dive, the infamous suicide dive line, which apparently got like a lot of heat, and Joey's since apologized for.
Considering that Mike Awesome killed himself.
How Mike Awesome committed suicide.
Wait, not long later, right? What?
Only a few years later,
Yeah.
he did a running dive out of the ring. He couldn't handle it anymore.
Stop!
The unprotected chair shots in this make me wonder how Masato Tanaka still is a functioning human being, like, to this day. Like, have you met Masato Tanaka?
I have not, but I will in 2 weeks.
Okay, so give us an update on how he's doing. Because I see him around, I see him at shows, I see him smiling, taking pictures with people. I'm just curious.
Look at Alan Security on the ball, diving over that guardrail. See
yeah,
that?
after the spot. He's already over the guardrail.
Oh, this is gross.
Oh, so I'm gonna kind of spoil myself right now. I did not pick this as my best in show, but I loved this match. Like, this was like something where I had a hard time because like this was not a great match, but this was such an ECW
Yes.
Agree to disagree.
Mike Awesome,
Totally
Masato
disagree.
Tanaka. Come on, this is so classic.
No, we're saying this is a great match.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
But I just said it is a great match. I'm saying
You
it's
said it was not a great
said
match.
it wasn't.
Well, I mean, from I don't know, like from what
It
like,
was
this
just
is-
a-
this is a 5-star match.
This is a match that's
I get what you're
impossible
saying.
today. You could never do this again.
They shouldn't have been able to do it then.
That's also
If
true.
Mike Awesome was alive right now, he would be like the biggest independent wrestling star.
him and PCO would be fucking destroying.
He would
Yeah.
be no, he would destroy PCO's life because like he doesn't know anything but go. Like I've never seen a Mike even in WCW.
Yeah.
He was taking backdrops over the guardrail. Like he was doing
Anything,
everything.
Fucking, even at FMW when he was the Gladiator,
The
that's when he
Gladiator,
was
yeah.
first doing this shit. I couldn't believe Mike Awesome was such a workhorse. The fact that he never made it big. He's actually cousins with Horace Hogan.
What?
Yeah, he is Horace Hogan's cousin.
Mike Hogan?
Yes, Mike Awesome Hogan.
Oh my God!
Holy shit.
Now he gives him the power, the awesome bomb off the apron through a table.
On his head.
He landed on the fucking legs.
Yep.
He landed on the fucking legs of, like, head first, neck first on the legs of this fucking table. Because Mike Awesome has the table over the barricade for some reason.
It's like it's at like an angle, so it's higher up on
Okay.
one side. Here's a good angle of it.
Watch him hit the legs. Legs.
Devastating.
JBL should have loved Mike Awesome because they had the same haircut.
And same body.
Fucking for real. Fucking.
I agree
yeah.
with what you're saying, Lumberjack. Mike Awesome.
I'd say he is
Should
the
have been-
biggest missed prospect. As a guy that
Yeah.
had size, look, he could cut decent promos.
I think the issue was he didn't know anything but go. So you can't put him on Raw in the first segment
Yeah.
and not expect
he's
him to
gonna
just
do
go
a dive
nuts.
right-
Just
Yeah,
go
he's gonna
crazy.
do everything.
Yeah.
The opening spot of this match was pass by into his suite in the ring shoulder tackle.
Yes.
And the next thing that happened was they automatically went to the floor.
But
and
that's
he's done like 6 power bombs already. We're like,
he's a guy made for the fucking main event.
yes.
He's just fucking.
He's awesome.
Awesome is his name.
Also, I just want to say what you mentioned earlier about the whole kick out thing.
Yeah.
The roster guys are absolutely shitting on everything they're doing. Do you think that's because they just don't like understand what this is, or do you think they're like jealous of like the performance?
A little bit of both.
Like, do you think they're just stuck on their high horse? Like, these fucking guys are the
These
shits.
garbage guys in chairs and
Well, like,
tables.
they mean it
and-
too. Like you
Yes.
could tell, like they weren't in character during this. They were like, these guys are fucking stupid.
Idiots.
That's what I mean. Like they really have a hatred for
This is where the real hatred I feel like was coming
It
from.
came out, yeah.
Like Benoit and Eddie, they weren't like fucking whatever. Same with Storm and Jericho, they weren't like, because they're friends with some of these guys too. But seeing these guys go full out with the weapons and like so over the top with the weapons, where like one chair shot should mean whatever.
But just to show you how NWACyberspace.com.
This is the only match with 0 contracted wrestlers.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And just to show you how good of an ECW match this is, it even won over Joey Styles, who was running the death of Mike Awesome earlier in the match, was just getting into it and just like, even Foley was like, so now you like Mike Awesome? Like,
All right, I'll call the match. I'll be professional. There was a few, I think, really good spots in this match. What were your guys' favorites?
My favorite spot is coming up here. It's when Mike Awesome had the chairs piled on top of him, followed by an elbow
With
by
the
Masato Tanaka.
Yes,
it was very mass transit-esque. You know that?
Very 187.
Yeah. JC.
yeah, I'm with Mikey on that. Was fucking cool.
And because like you have this match where obviously Masato Tanaka's gimmick is, I think that's another thing, they don't understand the gimmick of Masato
Fighting
Tanaka,
spirit and
where
stuff.
he takes a chair shot and gets up.
You know what? My
Like-
spot of there, the dueling chair shots, the smash
Yeah.
to the heads, like the most unprotected. How is Masato Tanaka still with us?
As we have this show playing, we one of my favorite spots of this match just happened where he gave Masato a German suplex. Masato gets right up, but he just eats a spear right away. I thought that was neat. And I think my favorite spot of the match is when Mike Awesome goes to give a powerbomb. Masato flips him over into a pin, and then Mike Awesome rolls through and picks him up into a powerbomb and gives it to him.
Can I have my best in show slip back?
I have 2 spots. My spot of the match is the apron power awesome bomb on Tanaka's head, and an honorable mention is the reverse awesome bomb
Off the ropes.
off the top
Off
rope
through the broken.
onto it.
Yes.
He could have impaled.
There's a giant piece of
Just-
metal
just
sticking
hanging
up.
out.
You're right, AG. That's my new spot of the match.
It is literally
Switched twice.
It's literally sticking straight.
Can I have my slip
No!
back? Hold me my
Masato-
slip back.
And then to end it, credit to Mike Awesome for doing that sweet tope splash to the floor that the camera just absolutely doesn't
Missed!
see.
It's like, holy shit,
Oh, look at Atlas Security helping him get that table in.
he fucking power bombs Masato out of the ring, and then for seemingly no reason just runs and dives on top of him over the top rope.
Do you think Mike Awesome was already suicidal at this point?
I actually heard the story on why he was suicidal. It was very sad.
Oh, no.
Very sad story. I'm not going to tell it.
Okay,
It's
good.
too sad. But I will tell you what happened to Air Bud.
Oh, no, don't do that. That was also the most depressing part of three-way theater.
So Mike Awesome won with a splash over the top rope, and he pinned him outside the ring,
Yep, because they were just like, no way getting him in.
which also the guys shit on, like the WWE guys were burying. They're like,
He beat him with the Splashberry Splasher.
oh, I love the Splashberry Splasher. So, Masato gave him a tornado DDT off the top rope through a table, which pre-broke the table, leading... He could have killed himself. He
Yes.
could have killed himself. JC, how long does this match feel to you?
6.5 minutes.
This match went 9:52.
Oh, man. They got time.
Mike Awesome, not satisfied with only missing his big suicide dive. When they were recapping the suicide dive, they also missed him powerbombing the referee, like the biggest, fattest referee they had. They're like, fuck it.
Referee Jim Molyneux.
Yeah. I just,
Love Jim Molyneux.
Here it is.
Oh,
We're watching
man.
it, by the way, guys.
yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
so
Jesus.
close.
He could have fucking remember when Hardcore Holly sliced open his back when he
Yes.
took that?
Yeah.
That could have been
went through
Like his skull, like his
Yes.
head.
JBL's like, he's gonna kick out.
He's gonna kick out. He's gonna kick out.
And he did.
He was
you think,
right.
You think Masato was looking at him? He's like, "Fuck you, I will." Next up, we got the Paul Heyman promo.
Oh yeah.
Now, what was your guys' favorite shoot promo of the night?
First, I want to say I just love Joey Styles looking at the format sheet when the ECW music. Look, this isn't supposed to happen.
Yes.
I love the because it was the best Van Dam promo of his fucking career.
Van Dam was legitimately emotional.
Yeah, like Heyman, like when he's like, "All right, it's time to shoot." Like it felt a little too cheesy. Like
I got 2 words for you, Matt freaking Hardy. That was 3 words. That was 3
Edge
words.
fucking burned him.
Yeah.
When you go like, 3.
I love when he's
No. He didn't go 3. He did V1.
Oh,
That's
that's true.
that's even funnier.
That's true.
Which is still 3 fingers. And I love when he said something about Edge, and then he just, hide your wife, it's Edge. And then he did the spit take.
Like this was like I feel like this was a concession where it was like, all right, the Raw and SmackDown guys are gonna talk shit, and then Paulie come out so you can get revenge.
Yeah, he'll teach him.
So my thing, yes, Paul Heyman could have easily went I wrote that his shoot promo was very very tame. He could have really went in on them. That the WWE guys at least could have sold it a little bit.
Yeah,
they're all just being
that's what I
just
think.
shit
It
on
was
it.
like
Gotta be so cool.
that's
not
what I
getting-
hated about
He's
it.
not getting any of his heat back because they're just whatever, brush it off.
Yeah, all right, whatever you say. Like,
Yeah,
yeah.
they were all being Scott Hall, where they were basically doing the ooh fingers. Like, ooh,
The only
good
person
one.
Raw and SmackDown sold for was Austin. Like that's
Yeah.
the only one they were like, I'm scared of him.
He could
alert.
affect
Oh,
my
sorry.
he could
Spoiler
affect my
alert.
career. Yeah, Paul Heyman. I thought it was a good promo. He came out with the headset on. I thought that was a nice little
And
touch.
he was great because he gave a shout out to the ECW TV guys, and that was, and then he like, oh wait, I gotta.
I wish
call out
he
you
cut
gentlemen.
out to Lance Russell in the ECW chopper.
He's still up there.
Or no, it wasn't Lance Russell. It was Lance.
Lance
Lance
Hoyt.
That's right.
No, right.
Lance Hoyt was Vance Archer.
Oh, that's right.
Also, he was
Dallas.
If Brockus was up there with Lance Wright, that would have been great. In the extreme, he's still up there in that extreme chopper.
The Dudley post this promo, the Dudley Boys took on Sandman and Tommy Dreamer.
Yeah,
baby.
I'd like to note this is the last time we'll see the Dudley Boys in the WWE ring until 2015.
Isn't that amazing?
Wow. 10 years later.
Because they would go on to be the Deadly Boys. I mean, Team 3D.
They were supposed to be the Deadly Boys.
They
though.
were supposed to be.
Bubba Ray and Devon Deadly,
They
the
got a-
Deadly Boys.
They got a cease and desist.
But Deadly?
No, actually, it was because the Deadly Boys leaked to the press, so they decided to change it to Team 3D because people found out they were going to be the Deadly Boys.
But the Deadly Boys is great.
It's
they
very.
should've- they
That's
should've been
what a
so
great
unique.
get around.
So
Yeah.
funny.
They should have spelled Dudley with an I.
I
The Diddley Boys.
No.
You can't do. Why not? I don't see there being a problem with
if
that.
if I could pick one thing that I missed from this show, that would be a long drawn out promo.
Bubba Ray
both
promo?
Bubba Ray and the Dudleys.
Just to
and-
get the heat. and
Yeah.
fucking-
You know what, guys? We should do our own
Oh,
fantasy ECW one night stand card.
That'd be a fun little
I think
bonus-ode.
that's
That's a great idea.
Yeah.
Maybe like a bonus-ode.
Oh, bonus
Whoa, stay tuned for that.
All right. Yeah, I agree, Mikey. This was definitely missing a Bubba Ray, just fucking tearing because the crowd needed that release. They needed Bubba Ray to fucking call them faggots.
Yeah, they wanted to jump off the balcony.
Bubba Ray always did.
He did.
I know.
Don't lie, Mikey. He said that.
This girl right here in the front row with her mom who taught her how to suck dick.
We're doing this in the context of what Bubba Ray used to always say.
Yes, please.
Taught her daughter how to suck.
As the entrance is going to be happening right now, can we agree that this is, at this point, and probably ever in WWE, Dreamer's biggest push in WWE
Yes.
ever?
Despite doing the job, his biggest moment in his career.
I don't know. Jackass Tommy Dreamer really got that was a big push.
Oh,
Remember
yeah.
when he chewed his own hair at a barber shop?
Yeah, he fucking
It's
took
like
a-
bubblegum.
He took a bite out of a urinal cake.
Gross.
Drank Undertaker's shoot tobacco spit.
Gross.
Like his actual spit.
The Dreamer, and then what would then become the Sandman entrance. 2005 me, goosebumps.
I believe Tommy Dreamer also had goosebumps this whole time. I could only imagine. Look, he looks proud.
So
He
happy.
literally
looks
was
like a
like, he literally
father.
just said "wow" as he's walking down the ring. Like, yeah,
So, and then he sees the old guy, his friends in the front row, like Chris Chetty's there.
that's right.
And
Yeah, it was Chris Chetty, C.W. Anderson, Peaches, and Elektra.
Electra. Is that his mom?
Yes, somebody's mom.
He just kissed an old woman.
By the way, when we were at Dunkin' Donuts earlier, Mikey was like, "Oh, look, there's JC." I'm like, "That's an old woman."
First of all,
And it was.
it was a man, but it did look like it was your car.
Oh, All right, you asshole. Yeah, by the way, I went to Dunkin' Donuts because these guys were going to Speedway, and then they went to Dunkin' Donuts.
Because Speedway was out of shit.
Yeah, I emptied out Speedway so I could trick JC into buying me a coffee and Mikey into buying me a sandwich.
Motherfucker.
Hold for edit. Let's see.
So, looks like this big match. First of all, Sandman entrance. Fucking
Goosebumps.
talk about doing it right. I remember when I was a kid watching this, I couldn't believe they got Enter Sandman. I think the crowd couldn't believe they got Enter Sandman.
Yeah, they were like, holy shit. Like, they would have accepted, like, all right, it's the Sandman, like, we accept it, but
when they used
yeah.
Enter Sandman, holy fuck.
that made it everything, like, real.
Could
like,
we?
Yep.
Could we guess how much it probably cost Vince McMahon to have that
He's-
song play
Here's the
one
thing.
time?
But here's the thing. He's been able to use Metallica several times. For
The end is near.
That was not Metallica.
No, but it was in the same. No, but
it was the same. They used
they
two
used it
themes
for-
that
yeah.
year.
Mikey, that was the Armageddon theme that Mikey hated. The end
Look at this fan.
Yes,
kidding
I wrote
himself.
that down. Guy hitting himself with Sandman's cane. Also,
that was Livewire Dave Padula.
Also, one of my favorite spots is when Sandman stands up on the barricade and somebody puts their ECW belt
Yes!
on his waist. I
Yep,
thought that was such a
yep.
great visual and a great spot.
Did Sandman ever hold that ECW World Title? I don't believe so.
He did.
That variation.
Because
Was that
wasn't
the
it
one that
he-
Rhyno beat him for?
Yes. Yep.
Oh, okay. Oh, so he held it earlier on with the old
Yes,
like.
he only held it for like 20 minutes.
But he did.
Yes,
He did.
probably less than that.
Yeah. You're right.
When Swamp Candles hits, the crowd loses their shit again. But Joey Styles starts fake laughing so hard, and I hate it. They couldn't do anything about it because it's parody. It's like, all right, Joey.
Is that why he was laughing like that?
Yes.
I was so confused.
Yeah, he's like,
ECW Please Japan Tour.
he's like, yeah, we did that, right? We did that to mock the NWO, and they couldn't do anything about it because it was parody.
Man, how many fucking kids got fucking drunk back in the day? Thanks
So
to Sandman?
many. You didn't check your ID before he poured the.
He sure did.
Before he poured
Yeah,
the
I
beer.
eyeballed
down your throat.
I'm sorry. Can I see your ID?
He also didn't check an ID before he dumped beer on your tits and licked them off.
That's true. Male
Although-
or female.
Yep, I believe Peaches is well over the age though.
So JC, we are halfway through this so far, and the question is, how long is Sandman's entrance?
Well,
How
I
I
don't know
wish.
how long is Enter Sandman track.
5.5. So he played that like 1.5 times.
Man, I fucking love this entrance. Here's the belt.
Yep, belt spot where they're holding the belt up. He's cracking the beer.
Already bleeding.
Yep, already fucking busted open.
Yep,
Classic
classic.
Sandman.
EC Dub. EC Dub. Stewart Dub. Stewart Dub.
They get in the ring. Everyone thinks that we're going to have this big respectful, like, holy shit, here it comes. Fucking Swamp Candles hits. BWO hits the ring. Well, Stevie Richards only has 3 words for you.
We're taking over.
You have to say it right. We're taking over. Like, he always had that. It's not, we're taking over. We're taking over. Like, he had a weird way of saying it. He had a weird inflection.
So, if man, they had these SmackDown and Raw invaders. The third invaders just should have been the BWO. Like the invaders come out, but then the BWO music.
Yeah,
and, like,
Stevie and Nova turn because they both still work there.
Oh,
Do you,
Peaches!
do you think Sandman and Dreamer got permission to pour beer on the tits and lick it off, or they just did it?
They just did it.
Oh, of course.
They just did
ECF and dub.
That'd be problematic in 2019.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Wow, Electra's not wearing a bra. Have you guys noticed that?
Yes.
Oh, Sandman really needed to get in there.
Yeah.
It's like, all
Yeah,
right.
that was supposed to be Tommy's mom. He's like, no, I'm getting it.
He's like, you already did yours.
They were like 2 puppies fighting for milk.
Can I say, as the BWO comes out and everything just starts to go crazy. I love everything about like the run-ins in this main event.
Yes.
It's
100%.
everyone had their moment.
Yes, and that was the one thing missing from this show. Just running.
I have. This is the epitome of ECW.
Yes.
Like
Fucking Stevie kicked to Sandman, takes him out. Holy shit, big brawl. They're beating up Tommy Dreamer. And the classic music of Kid Cash.
What? Total non-stop action.
Mr. TNA.
I had to write down that Joey Styles just had to get in his shitty TNA line.
Mr. Total Nonstop Attitude.
was that his name?
No.
Why
No,
would-
it wasn't, because he was in TNA at the time, and Joey Styles made a big joke.
Wow.
Mr. TNA, Mr. Total Nonstop Attitude.
So
Kid-
he was the only guy from TN, like the only guy.
So
James Mitchell.
Bischoff.
Yeah, that's-
So Bischoff did an RF shoot interview, and he admitted that he really never understood or knew ECW because he was always he's a WCW executive. He's not going to.
He's in a bubble, yeah.
Like, but being in Hammerstein, he's like. It was great. Like it was like one of those things where it's like the seeing how the fans are like, because there's this shot where Stevie's on the mic and Bischoff, like he has his hand over his mouth. And I think he's like
He's laughing,
He's
yeah.
smiling. Like, he's like, this is fucking cool.
I do want to actually go back real quick to the Heyman promo. There's a moment where Bischoff is just sticking up the middle finger.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
big
You can tell he
shit-eating
loves
grin.
it. It's like the greatest, like a perfect meme.
Well, because
Yes.
he goes, they used me as heat, and I get it. I totally understand it. They always use me as a scapegoat for like people hating me.
Yeah.
But like,
Eric Bischoff is a homo.
But them doing
you don't you dare.
but them doing that got the character of Eric Bischoff over so much more too, because
Yes.
there's people that now have real hatred for Bischoff that are going to boo him, and then there's kayfabe hatred for Bischoff.
Balls and Axel.
And Bischoff came from AEWA, so he wasn't always executive guy. He was an
yeah.
announcer, so he had the old school mentality.
Selling
old school-
meat in the back of a truck.
Yeah. Him and Sonny Ono selling fucking Ninja Star Wars. Kid Cash misses his backdrop out of the ring, so he just literally jumps over the top rope and eliminates himself.
Yes.
The chair swinging freaks are out there. Axel and Balls
Balls,
Mahoney. Balls. Bob.
Bob.
Axel,
Bob.
Balls, Shaw.
Fucking
Hack Myers.
I was doing from last.
No,
night.
I know.
we had
That's a deep cut.
we had
It is a deep
fucking-
cut, right?
The cheese grater spot was fantastic. Like, I understand how it all works, but like that people
looked
love that.
great.
Like this, and then Tommy was bleeding like a fucking sieve through this match.
Which eventually leads to one of my favorite things ever.
And grossest things ever.
The reunion,
Yup.
the reunion of Beulah and fucking Tommy.
Yup.
And the hug with the
When they
blood in
pull
her
away
hair.
from each other, and you just see Tommy's blood matted in her hair. I'm like, my girlfriend wouldn't let me hug her if
Yeah.
I was bleeding. Like,
But that's true love. That's ECW.
fucking, they've swapped blood results many times. There was a point where fucking.
There's no greater love story than Tommy Dreamer and Beulah McGillicuddy.
Yeah, fucking, he was in love. Like, she was in love with him at the summer camp. She lost weight.
She was the fat chick.
I mean, that's actually not a love story. Tommy should have loved her for who she was. Tommy's the heel here. Holy shit!
Oh my God.
Yeah, Raven was right all along.
And now Beulah should dump Tommy because he's fat.
In this match, I'm so mad that the camera missed what I could only assume was like a sweet seesaw spot.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
The setup was there, then they cut over, and all you can do is hear it.
Yeah.
Terry Funk Memorial spot.
They had a few of they had a couple moments like that. I remember in Barely Legal when they did a seesaw spot and the ladder almost flew into the crowd.
crowd.
That was a fun one.
I love that when Dudleys do the table spot, like, oh, they don't have ladder fluid. They can't do it. Spike comes out.
When he's got the big yellow bottle in the back pocket.
How about the fact that he has like two of them on him? He has one in the back pocket, and instead of letting Spike have his moment, Bubba Ray just takes it from the other.
Yeah.
All right, here we go.
Actually,
Let's start this.
that was actually a flask in Spike's other pocket.
Oh,
But yeah, my spot of the match is Francine coming out, and then Beulah.
Cat fights your spot of the match?
No, not that. Just the entire sequence, because
Okay.
then it leads to the Dudleys grabbing Beulah.
The Impact players came out and then Beulah came
Right.
out.
oh,
Right.
the barbed wire ball.
Yeah. Yeah. Just
I just like to
look
think
what I found.
he was dribbling it in the back all night long.
Warming up. How about the double DDT from Dreamer and Beulah?
But that entire sequence,
the double pin where she's not even in the match.
That's so
entire
ECW.
sequence of the double DDT and then the embrace between Dreamer when Dreamer and Beulah, she turns around and sees Beulah. I love it. Oh man.
I also loved when Sandman was laid out on a ladder and Bubba gave him a splash off the second and just killed him. It's fucking. I'm like, that is a spot that Bubba should always miss. Like whenever you do the senton like that, and the person would move out of the way, he fucking splashed him on the ladder. Brutal. Fucking. Spike Dudley comes out with the lighter fluid. We get a fucking fire table. Now, I never expected this, but then watching Extreme Heat, the Dudleys cut a promo where they fucking set a table on fire.
They sure did.
Boom. That would have. If I saw that, I would have.
That was a commercial
Yes.
for ECW One Night Stand.
Really?
That would have been. That would have been a dead giveaway to me as a fan that they were going to do it.
Well, whether they
But there was such an unknown thing that you just like, oh, they're just trying to sell the pay-per-view.
Look at
Right.
that fucking visual.
Oh, I
but
love
that's but that's my spot of the match.
What,
The fire
It's
powerbomb?
the flaming tip. Yeah.
Mine too.
I'm not sure if mine should have been Sandman not being able to get the figure 4 in. But no, mine was also the powerbomb.
Oh, Bubba Ray Skull, he goes too soon.
Beulah's like, ugh, learn to work.
You fucked up my spot.
You know who didn't fuck that up? Fonzie.
Damn right.
Saved Fonzie's job.
And we talked about that in one of our bonuses.
Yes.
Best referee matches.
So, JC, from bell to bell, how long did that match feel to you?
So does that include like the
I
BWO?
said bell to bell. It didn't rip. It didn't ring till halfway through the Gaga shit.
8.
The match from bell to bell went 10 minutes and 52 seconds.
All right.
JC, how long did that match feel to you with the Gaga?
God damn it.
And I'm talking, I counted from when the BWO's music first hit. As that
Till
was, I counted
The
that
end
as
of the match.
till the till the final bell.
12?
Can I take a wild guess?
Yes.
14 minutes.
15:52.
Oh, all right.
Price is Right rules. AG wins.
Damn it. He's a guest. He's a guest. It's fine. Oh man,
And then we.
Oh well, but then so post match antics.
Yes.
Wow.
A lot of post match antics.
Sandman yells, "Get me a beer!"
Get me a beer.
Get me a beer.
And
Ring
what
the fucking bell.
Yells, "Get me a beer!" What a segue
Oh,
into our
Stone
next guest.
Cold.
You're just down to
I-
7. You're not getting a fucking segue on this show.
There's a bonus sode that we can do.
Damn it.
I might be able to get it in.
I completely forgot this ever happened.
That Austin was there.
Yes, and because when you look at you're watching on the network, it shows you like the checkpoints in
Yes.
certain matches. I'm like, what is all this? What is
Dead
this?
time.
What is what is happening?
The
I remember the
ECW
fight. I'm like, man, did the fight last that long?
It's lucky that right after the fight, the electricity blew in the Hammerstein, and the feed just died moments after the pay-per-view went off the air.
Back to favorite shoots. I think mine's just Stone Cold, just totally just ripping on the roster guys.
Yeah.
Obviously in character, but he was like, just
I feel like that's
get your
what,
mealy asses down here right
I
now.
feel like that got Heyman like got back for that, like him being taken more serious.
So Austin, the one thing because I think for what you can expect Steve Austin to be in 2005, he did the best that he was going to do.
As much as ECW fans shit all over everything WWE, they didn't give a fuck about the music,
the most
middle fingers,
the most WWE guy ever.
No shit.
The highest selling
Mr.
T-shirt in
WWE.
WWF history comes down the aisle, and they're like, "EC fucking W!"
So
wearing
there's
his
one,
outlaw WWF shirt.
so there's one thing that would have just put it over the top if he did all of that wearing the Eric Bischoff wig. If he had worn it from like the
Monday Night Quill.
We're the big boys play with each other.
like I would have lost my mind if he just did that entire serious promo.
Oh yeah, no. Fucking ECW roster empties, including guys we never like. Why is Roadkill in his gear? Did he show up in that?
So
he showed
Was
up
there
like this.
maybe there was a dark match?
No,
No, there
dark
weren't.
matches.
Oh,
So the reason why everyone's coming out to the ring now is because Steve Austin said we're going to have ourselves a little beer bash.
Beer.
I wish this is how the show ended. This is
Yeah.
where
Yeah.
it should have been done right here.
Yeah, because they thwarted it. They had their one night stand. They had a successful pay per view.
And now they can't invade because because Austin's there and like, oh, we can't do it now.
And they have Atlas security, so
yeah, you can't get past
Yeah,
that.
exactly. They'll protect us.
Danny Doring's in his full gear and he wears tights. So like, that's
I
weird.
wrote this. I said, look at some of the guys in full gear. You got Danny Doring, Johnny Swinger, who was that probably signed still at the time, Johnny Parisi.
Yeah, he's wearing his Johnny Parisi gear.
And then Chris Chetty and CW hop over the guardrail,
Yeah.
so they're in the ring too. They're ready to brawl.
Al Snow's wearing his gear. It's just really strange to me.
Yeah, no.
Like, what's the point? Maybe, like, they didn't know what they were going to book. Like, nothing's announced, so who knows?
Bischoff tries to escape the invasion by going on commentary.
Yeah. And then, wouldn't you know, ECW original Mick Foley, isn't he? He ain't having none of that.
Well, and that was after the fight. So this whole thing happens. Let's dive in about Blue Meanie and JBL.
Yeah.
So JBL, he looks at Blue Meanie as the bird, right? He knows he's going in there to fuck up Blue Meanie.
The bird is such an understatement. Like, a bird is like you chop the guy and fucking whatever.
He had a bullseye.
The Blue Meanie had fucking staples, 8 staples in the back of his head from Hardcore Homecoming.
But JBL's like, he's just like, I'm going to go right for this motherfucker.
Blue Meanie had already worked it out with one of the Basham brothers that they were going to work with each other, just like have a little fun. I forgot Taz came out.
So the best part of Extreme Heat, I was not watching SmackDown at the time, but the Kurt Angle setting up Taz.
Yeah, that was great.
He comes out because they're like, Taz, whose side are you on?
And Taz doesn't say anything, and Kurt just sits down next to him and they're just
I'm
staring.
gonna sit here, Taz, until you give me an answer.
And Kurt Angle just sits next to Taz, he's just staring at him while Taz is on commentary, and Taz is just getting pissed, just like not looking at him, but just you can see he's physically just getting fucking mad.
And so then you have Kurt's like, okay, Taz, fine. We'll do it your way. Slowly gets up out of his chair, folds it up, turns it around, and fucking hits him with the goddamn steel chair.
Taz should have seen that coming. He's like, oh, he's folding up his chair. He's going to take it away with him. Good for him. Look how big Matt Morgan looks. Just wearing his jeans.
Look at how all those WWE guys look compared to the ECW guys.
JBL
Who would win in a real fight?
JBL
Taz.
hits Meanie from behind.
Yes.
Yes.
He punches him right where his staples were in the back of his head. That's why he's fucking bleeding so bad. And
Here it is right here.
Yeah, we're watching this brawl happen right now. JBL's fucking up Blue Meanie.
Blue Meanie giving him some real good shots.
He's trying to fucking fight back as best as he can, but you can actually see where the tide turns for JBL, where all the ECW guys, they're like a swarm of bees, where if you attack one of them, they all start like going in.
Yeah, instead of honey, it's blood.
Agree to disagree, because right here, someone's gonna. You'll watch this. Someone grabs JBL, and Tracy Smothers just gives him the most worked brother-like punches that you'll ever see.
Wait till Sandman fucking.
But once they get clued in that Meanie got fucked up.
Yeah, Sandman grabs JBL around the neck with the cane, and that's when fucking Tracy Smothers starts throwing the fucking punches.
Yeah, they get
Right
the,
here.
Yeah, look, those are total good brother punches he's throwing because nobody knows. Because Blue Meanie's in the corner looking at him all fucked up. And then I feel like there's like a general consensus of people
like,
seeing
all right, it's
what
time
happened.
to get him.
At the very end, you'll see Bubba Ray Dudley pulls him out
Yes,
of the ring.
saved his life.
He says, "Sell away, brother." Gives him one more strike, and then he sells out.
Ready? Here it comes. Fucking Sandman grabs JBL. There is where
Yeah.
Tracy Smothers just fucking throwing live rounds.
All right, here we go.
Fuck you. And they literally, he's strangling. Mikey Whipwreck's punching him.
Yep,
Fucking
they're
Tracy
giving-
Smothers
yep.
punching him.
There
They're
it
all
goes.
punching him.
There
Holy
it is.
shit.
Here he goes.
Holy
There it
shit.
is.
They're all
There it
punching
is.
him.
There it is. And Bubba
Wow.
Ray's like, I'm going to
Fucking
save your life.
JT
Wow.
Smith,
And
Balls Mahoney.
Here's the best part. Watch this. He gives him one. They're going to cut the camera. JBL is just not selling.
Wow.
Just
No, that's the look of someone that just got their fucking ass. That's a shoot, fight look on. He's got a little fucking, he's got a little mouse under his eye.
And Joey's like, I got one for you in a few years.
Knock that fucker out.
Adios míos.
He said, "Oh my god," in fucking Iraqi, and
He said it in Texan.
Oh, man.
but man, fucking good for JT Smith, Mikey Whipwreck, Balls Mahoney, Tracy Smothers.
I mean, to be fair, JT Smith was never getting a job.
That's true. He's many jobs in his life. This was not one of them. Austin wearing the fucking cowboy hat, not
That was
realizing
his set.
how
Yeah.
much, what the fuck just happened. Blue Meanie's fucked up beyond
I feel like it'd be such a like Austin thing to be cutting the promo that he's what the fuck happened to you?
Yeah,
Jackass.
So, boys, that was ECW One Night Stand.
Yeah. ECW.
Oh, by the way,
ECW.
they finished the night up hitting their big finish spots on Bischoff.
You know, Rey Mysterio hitting that famous 619
Why?
one bullet time. Hey, Benoit, go up top, give him one of those flying headbutts.
Like, look at that sunbuck.
Yo, Sandman, cane his ass.
Yeah, I'll take him back to 316 Gimmick Street with Hershey the Wonder Dog.
Oh man, look at tough ass Cactus Jack just. Yeah, you all better fuck off. I'm about to kill this guy.
I like that ECW original bald man standing there.
Yeah.
confused.
You know, that's the other Atlas security.
I like Coach very faintly trying to grab him. Like, no, wait.
All right, I'm outta here.
Bye.
Oh, man.
So pull out those best in shows, man. I want to know who the fuck we got.
Let's take a look at who our ballots. Before I get into that, the match of the night via Dave Meltzer was given to Mike Awesome and Masato Tanaka.
Oh, wow.
He gave that 4.25 stars.
Wow.
And the worst match of the night was actually tied between Rey Mysterio and Psicosis in the three-way dance.
What?
They were both tied at 2.5 stars.
All right, Meltzer.
Okay. Our first vote. Match of the night. Mike Awesome and Masato Tanaka. Worst match, Benoit and Guerrero. Second vote. Best in show, Dudley's versus Sandman and Dreamer. Worst, Eddie and Benoit. Vote number 3. We've got best in show, Dreamer and Sandman versus the Dudley Boys. Worst in show, Benoit versus Guerrero. And the final vote, best in show, Masato Tanaka versus Mike Awesome. Worst in show, Psicosis versus Rey Mysterio.
Whoa! I thought we were going to have a clean sweep.
So that means we're going to go to Dave Meltzer to break the tie on the best in show. So that would make it Masato Tanaka and Mike Awesome would win best in show. And the worst in show by a landslide,
Benoit Guerrero.
Eddie Guerrero and Chris Benoit.
Since 4 people, if you count Meltzer, chose that as the worst match, I don't think any of us are saying that that's a bad match.
Meltzer did not call that the worst match. He said the triple threat match.
Oh, true. Okay.
And then Psicosis and Mysterio.
Oh, I would say it wasn't a bad match
The
as a wrestling match.
expectations were too high.
Yes.
If it was anyone but Guerrero and Benoit, I think it would be passable, fine, whatever.
It's still hard to say that even that could be voted as a worst match. But on this show,
Yes.
in context,
Yes.
at this time,
Absolutely.
With this crowd,
with this crowd, everything, it just...
just
It was the
wasn't one.
dance, and they didn't dance. I'm just saying. Who is my other boy that voted for the Dudleys and Sandman Dreamer?
Mikey.
Yeah, woo!
We get it.
in there.
Yeah.
we get
Listen,
wrestling.
listen. I almost wrote in parentheses Tanaka and Mike Awesome because
You can't do that.
Actually, if you did it in parentheses, if we're
wanted to
going by
change it.
math,
He
I
said-
did.
Yep.
he would be choosing that first.
And you
Yes.
know, but that's why we do that, because I would have changed it to that too after our
I
discussion
was debating
about
it right here before we started recording. I'm
But
like,
that's
I
why.
don't know
But
if
that's why we do this show, guys.
I
That's
know.
why we do this show. So we have this undoctored, our raw opinions on what we feel, and that's
unfiltered, uncut.
and SmackDown opinions too.
That's true.
Oh, nice.
well, boys. That was a lot of fun.
that was great.
I have to pee.
Oh,
AG,
jeez.
AG's leaving us like Dan Terry.
Oh no. Well, I mean, I was going to ask if AG had anything he wanted to plug or anything like
Oh,
that.
he's
or
coming
anything-
back.
Oh, yep.
I have Twitter and Instagram. Twitter is @RetroAG. My Instagram is @RetroAG_ because some scumbag won't let me take RetroAG.
It was me.
And
It was me.
You're the
Austin.
fucking king of merch, man. You're the fucking merch king.
Oh yeah, you guys should buy lighters from me.
Oh, Jake already stole them all. We're good.
What?
Yeah,
Yeah.
thanks for those.
Yeah.
My pockets are filled.
No, you're pretty heavier.
I'll have new glasses coming soon. By this time, I'll have my retroactive shirts available.
Oh.
They're pretty cool. They have a Rubik's Cube on them.
I turned off the pay-per-view
Yeah,
before this happened. What the fuck is happening right now?
They
Why is
couldn't
he on a
find
train?
They couldn't
I gotta
find
pee.
a garbage truck. They couldn't find a garbage bin.
I have no idea what the fuck they just
They just
dumped-
carried Eric Bischoff out of the building.
They,
and
like,
threw him on
threw
the
him
back
out,
of a
yeah.
flatbed.
But like it was just some random truck
Taking
that
out
was,
the trash.
I'm so confused on why they just did.
Taking out the trash.
I'm so confused.
Break the fucking bell.
All right, guys. While AG takes a piss,
Well, that was
wrap
great.
it up.
Yeah, that was find all of our past Best in Show episodes, all of our regular episodes on threewaytheater.com, wherever you get podcasts. So wherever you want to go. If you want to go to Spotify, go there. Want to go to Apple Podcast, iTunes?
What about Stitcher?
You can listen to us on Stitcher. Go for it. Tune in.
I think I'm going to download it on all those things.
Every single one.
All of them.
Yeah, I think you should get all the apps. Download all the episodes on each individual app.
Also, get our silent episode where it's 3 hours of silence and listen to that while you sleep.
Yeah, that's called our best rated episode.
Yeah, and then our trumpet episode where it's just us playing trumpets for 3 hours. Listen to that while you sleep.
Yep. Check out our TeePublic store. We got our shirts. Check out the ECW mascot, Fry, the ECW frying pan mascot.
Yep. While you watch One Night Stand.
That's right. Yeah, check out all of our stuff. Do it up.
Well,
do it.
I'm Lumberjake.
I'm Mike Pava.
And I'm JC.
And I'm retrosexual Anthony Green.
Yeah.
And this has been
Three-Way Theater
presents
Match of the night.
Best 5-star classic.
Best in Show?
Best in showed.
Fourth funny answer.
Other generic comment.